6A play. Florida Atlantic and Middle, well, they had a shootout last season, and they both come in tonight with a little bit of chip on their shoulder. It's FAU and Middle Tennessee. Hello again, everybody, along with two-time Super Bowl champion Max Starks. I'm Ron Thulin. First of all, FAU, they want to run the football, then hit you over the top. And run, they do that well because they've got three running backs, all average over 6 yards a carry, including Devin Singletary. He's a guy that rushed for over 1,000 yards last year.
And Devin Singletary is going to be the focus of this FAU offense coming up tonight because he does so much on the ground. You can see he has wiggle, he has shake, he has breakaway speed, already 359 yards rushing this season, and has seen the end zone 5 times already. And you think of the complement of backs who are going to be in the backfield sharing with him, and he still gets all of that done. And then, of course, the question is, who will be at the helm? Who's the QB for tonight? Jason Driscoll gets the call, but we'll see where he goes from there if Daniel Parr makes an appearance in this contest tonight.
Well, Singletary is definitely the man. Now, for Middle Tennessee, the busiest person on their staff over the last couple of weeks has been their trainer. This is a team that has lost their quarterback, their best receivers, a running back, and a bunch of others. You'll look at the injured list. Brent Stockstill, record-setting quarterback. He and Richie James, phenomenal combination. Neither one are playing tonight.
Yeah, neither one playing, and that's what's going to be scary. John Urzua, who's already played in 3 contests this season, is at the helm tonight. You see his yardage and his numbers. But more importantly, the guys behind him are going to have to pick him up, and that is going to have to be Jock Bruce and also Brad Anderson that are going to have to step in and really keep this backfield strong. So make sure that John Urzua does not have to make any forced throws.
It's going to be an interesting game. FAU coach Lane Kiffin reminded his team this week that they have lost 9 straight to the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee, including the last 4 here in Boca. Middle Tennessee, FAU, next coming up on Stadium.
A lot more.
Florida Atlantic's first win over an FBS team was back in 2003, and they beat Middle Tennessee. And Middle Tennessee comes into this game having won their last 4 Conference USA home openers, and their head coach is Rick Stockstill, the Dean of Coaching in Conference USA, his 12th season, looking for his 75th win overall at Middle Tennessee. He's 6th nationally as far as tenure goes. And the head coach of Florida Atlantic in his first year is Lane Kiffin. Came from Alabama, where he was offensive coordinator. He has won 2 national titles. How many guys, Max, can say they won national titles with 2 of the premier college coaches? Pete Carroll at USC, Nick Saban at Alabama.
I can't think of any, and especially at the offensive coordinator position, that he held when they won those titles. And Lane Kiffin, when we talked to him, had so much to say about those times when he was with Saban and with Carroll and how that shaped him as a head coach now that he's with FAU.
I got the sense talking to Lane yesterday, he's got a lot of Nick Sabanisms in him as far as making sure you prepare the right way for a football game.
Yes, and you could see just how he went about even the process of our conversation about how he was methodical and making sure he talked about everything that he wanted to get across. It was almost like he was going down bullet points in his brain. But yet he still has that Pete Carroll in him where he wanted to make this place a place where kids can come and they want to be here versus them having to be here. And I think that's where you see the balance between the two different head coaches.
Well, you take a look at the series between these two teams. This has been an interesting series, to say the least. 15th meeting, although Middle Tennessee leads the all-time series 11-3. We've already told you they've won 9 in a row, but 7 of the 14 games between these two teams have been decided by 7 points or less.
And that's pretty impressive considering what these different programs, their backgrounds, and getting to the FBS level, what they have accomplished. So it'll be interesting to see tonight if FAU can change their fortunes.
Jareth White is back to receive the kick. Middle Tennessee won the toss, and they've deferred. Cannon Rooker will kick it away. And it'll be into the end zone. That's where FAU will begin possession. And we get our first look at their quarterback in Jason Driscoll. 6'2", 210-pound junior out of Florida. You know, he was the player that started last year. He didn't start the first 3 games this season. Daniel Parr did. But now Driscoll has come into the game as the starter. Started last week, second week in a row for him. He's a big guy. He's a perfectionist. He missed some throws last week, and I think that's what they want him to improve on this season.
And Coach Kiffin has said that this is going to be an open competition all year, and the way Jason got the start tonight was because he practiced a little bit better than Daniel Parr. So we'll see what that little bit better is the difference playing Middle Tennessee.
Now, one thing they're looking for is more consistency from that quarterback position, also from their wide receivers. Singletary behind Driscoll. He'll get the first carry, right side, picks up maybe 3 on the play. Stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Darrell Randolph coming up from that right cornerback spot to make the stop. Well, we just found out that you'll see Rick Stocksdale without the headset. They're having some headset problems, so both teams cannot wear headsets. That makes it interesting. Moffitt coming up to make the stop along with Malik Monsiel on Devin Singletary, the sophomore out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. His nickname is Motor, for good reason. 3rd down, less than a yard. Motor gets the first, gets close to the 40. They'll mark him down at about the 39. Now make it the 40. Raheem Collins holding on for dear life, and we've got a rugby scrum.
That's exactly what it looked like. That or a floating amoeba on the field because everybody on both sides was involved in that scrum getting the first down. And look, they're going hurry up here. They're not allowing Middle Tennessee to even get a chance to line up, and they're trying to take advantage. And it's been 3 straight runs in a row. And
that's something that Rick Stocksdale was concerned about, just trying to get the players in to fit the formations. Keep it on the ground again. Singletary bounces to the outside, lowers the shoulder up to the 47 before Moffitt brings him down. I think what you said, you and I were talking earlier, how last week FAU said we wanted to run the ball 100% because when we throw, it's bad.
Yeah, and you look at this team just finishing the runs, and they are lined up in all running formations with that pistol formation set by Jason Driscoll, and it's just a straight handoff every time.
Bouncing off tackles inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line. Buddy Howell getting his first carry of the evening. Reed Blankenship, the true freshman, brings him down.
And when you look at this, it's just a straight double-team man zone scheme where he's reading it off the left side and just bowling straight ahead.
Driscoll's first pass dumps it out of the flat, caught, tripped up down to the 25-yard line. And it's John Rain. John Rain, that's his first catch of the year. We didn't know he was going to play till we watched practice yesterday. They ran that play a bunch of times. When we asked Coach about it, he goes, yeah, we are going to run John Rain a lot. There's Buddy Howell, who didn't even play last week. Will Brooks coming up to make the stop. Buddy Howell holds the single-season rushing TD record here at FAU, and he goes out. Singletary comes in. We have a penalty. Substitution problem.
And that's one of the issues you run into in this game when you get to a point where you're running no huddle, your defense is tired, and you're trying to get a guy in, and it's almost like Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
They keep the pressure on you so that they can get these easy 5-yard penalties and really force the issue against the defense.
Driscoll doing a good job of managing this offense so far here in the early going. 4 wide receivers set. They rush 4. Just keep it on the ground. That is what has worked well. Singletary still dancing around. 5-4. Touchdown, FAU.
And what an incredible job Devin Singletary did to get into the end zone. It looked like he was going to be stopped for a no gain. But then he keeps his feet moving, he sidesteps, and then he keeps going, and then he sidesteps again, and then he tightrope walks along the sideline to get to the end zone for the first score of the game for the Owls.
Lane Kiffin telling me back in July that Singletary has a chance to be something very, very special. The extra point is good. 7 plays, 75 yards. Only took them 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Very impressive opening drive for FAU. Devin Singletary with his 6th rushing touchdown of the season, 18th for his career. FAU on top, 7-0 in the early going.
One for 2.
Last week, Middle Tennessee allowed just 1 yard rushing to Bowling Green in 29 carries. In that opening drive, FAU, they come up with 58 yards rushing. Let's take a look at this effort by Devin Singletary.
As down the sidelines, you look at just jumping, hop, skipping, and then all the way into the end zone. The flexibility in those ankles and knees was tremendous, and that's what makes him special, is that he's a guy who can make things happen in a very small amount of space.
Well, he had 235 yards rushing last year versus Middle Tennessee. There's certain teams you may just play a little bit better against.
You might have a feel, you might have a thumb on that.
Now Reuben Garnett set to receive the kick. Greg Joseph boots it right to Garnett. 9 yards deep, he'll take a knee, and that's where Middle Tennessee will get underway. John Urzua, the sophomore out of Sewanee, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, 6'3", 189 pounds. And talking to Tony Franklin, the offensive coordinator this week, he said John is beginning to get a little more confidence.
And confidence is what he's going to need tonight, because this FAU defense is looking to take advantage of the missing players on this Middle Tennessee offense. So the Blue Raiders got to do a great job of keeping the tempo good, meaning get rhythm in your throws, make sure that the running game is on point. They use a multitude of fronts, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about it.
Anderson goes in motion. They'll swing it out to him. Gets a block up to the 30-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 5 on the play. Middle Tennessee coming off their best offensive performance of the year, 533 yards last week versus Bowling Green.
And when you're talking about getting a quarterback comfortable starting into this game, a swing pass is a great way. You can employ those different quick routes to get the confidence built, and so that he can get into a rhythm with his receivers.
Now he looks right, starts to roll, dumps it off. That'll be good for a first down. Over midfield, down to the 48-yard line. C.J. Wyndham, his 8th reception of the year. Jalen Young was on coverage, but good job by Urzua on the pressure.
Yeah, you look at the pressure here. He escapes out of the pocket, 2 red defenders in his face, and delivers a dart to Ty Lee.
Ty Lee, my mistake, 21st reception of the season. They go back to Lee. Lee actually played some running back last week because it was a chain reaction when they started losing players because of injury. So Lee, who was a freshman All-American wide receiver last year, had to play a little RB.
And if you're talking about a gifted athlete, that is exactly what he is. He's the other half of the dynamic duo for this receiving core for the Blue Raiders.
Second down and short. Good opening drive also for Middle Tennessee. And they'll look over to Tony Franklin, the offensive coordinator, to get the signal. This is a team that can stretch you horizontally when they run the football. Urzua throws into the flat. That'll be incomplete. Tyrese Johnson, the intended receiver.
So many different ways in this offense that Middle Tennessee could get a screen to you. You look at the formation was 3-by-1 at the top of the screen with 2 guys up and 1 guy kind of a little bit further back. It just ran it almost like an extended swing route that you throw to a running back.
Third down. First time Middle Tennessee has faced it all year. They are not good on third down. Either team is. Middle Tennessee just 28% on third down. FAU 27%. Urzua looks for the quick pass, has to go to the safety valve, throws it off into the flat, caught by Anderson.
And they're going to rule it out of bounds.
Yeah,
I thought, because he's right here below us, and when you look at the pass here, doesn't see his first read. Urzua wings it out, but Anderson almost like bunny hops down. Yeah. And his heels hit out of bounds. His toes are inbound, but his heels hit out of bounds. And that made it an incomplete pass.
Previous play is under review.
And they're going to take a look at it again. The replay official is Randy Smith, long-time college referee. Here it is again.
Looking at it, great job here of IDing and getting it down. Let's see. It's that bunny hop motion. Well, his left foot got down first.
Got down
first. We're not in the NFL, so it doesn't require 2 feet inbounds. You just need 1 foot inbound in college. And that left foot comes down, but I think the referee just saw the second foot and assumed that was the first one to get down.
I tell you, it's got to be a good sign for the true freshman, Brad Anderson, out of Huntsville, Alabama. 6 receptions for 98 yards last year. Couple that with the fact that he also rushed for 104 yards. He's a very versatile player, and he's a godsend at running back.
Yes, he is. He's a good guy to have. And
boy, that's a different angle there. That's tough to see.
Yeah, that one's tough. It almost looks simultaneous.
And we have a referee running the replay. So he's going to be getting it right, I'm sure.
His top angle look. Foot is clearly down before the other one touches.
I think we're going to see if he had possession. I think you're right. It's that bunny hop they got him. Well, I tell you what. It's going to be interesting to see what the call is. They're taking their time on it, obviously. Well, last week in the win, 9 players had offensive stats for Middle Tennessee. All 9 were either freshmen or sophomores. This is a young Middle Tennessee offense, and they've got the verdict, and here it is. Referee John Noley. I think they're going to reverse this call.
Yeah, I think that'd be the smart thing to do after looking at that replay. It's that right foot that hits just before the left one gets down.
After review, the receiver's left foot was inbounds and completed the process of the catch. It will be first down from the 37-yard line.
Okay, when we're looking here, you see the pass, and then right here, that foot hits, and it is in before the other foot goes. So that's what they saw in the video, and that's what I saw, and it looked good. So great job by Urzua and for Anderson to get that left foot down as quickly as possible because that right one was coming right after him.
Here's John Urzua, who really didn't play high school football till his senior year. He sat behind a couple of upperclassmen, so he hasn't played a lot of football. Anderson finds a little bit of a seam, gets close to the 32-yard line. Ron Hafiz coming up to make the tackle from that Sam linebacker spot.
And what just a tremendous job. You see, when you talk about getting into an away game stadium and you're feeling the crowd, you're feeling the motion, and then they come down and just march down the field on you, the best way to answer is to do the same thing, and Middle Tennessee's doing a great job thus far this drive.
That was FAU's fastest score to start a game this season. That'll be short of the first down by just about a half a yard. You know, I think we're going to see a combination of Anderson and Jock Bruce, number 5, the sophomore out of Knoxville, Tennessee. That's pretty much what they've got from that running back position.
I agree, and maybe even a little Ty Lee in there mixed in.
Now, he looks like Ty Lee's going in there now.
And he's in. Okay, so you know, you look at those two guys because of what Ty Lee offered. I mean, he offers last week playing a multitude of positions.
Now they're going to use him in motion. Ball's on the ground. Urzua comes up, looks, throws deep. He's got lead, knocked away at the last second. Great defensive effort by FAU. I'll tell you, Jalen Young, the junior out of Belle Glade, Florida, they call him Honey Badger because of his size, comes out of nowhere.
And just look at how Urzua is able to shake off one defender. The ball gets dropped, he picks it up, and still manages to find lead down the field. What a tremendous job by Urzua.
Cannon Rooker will attempt the field goal. They're marking it down at the 36-yard line. It'll be a 46-yard attempt. That'll tie his career long. Does it have the distance? Hits the goal post, and it goes through.
8-ball corner pocket.
There you go. Well, Cannon Rooker has now made his last 7 field goal attempts. 3 for 3 on the season, and he ties his career long with a 46-yarder.
If you're back
And according to the sign on the field, we are 1.8 miles away from the beach here at Boca Raton and the campus of FAU. Not a bad place to go to school.
No, not indeed. And you look around, and the campus life was great. Just driving around campus yesterday, seeing all the students happy, walking around shorts and flip flops. You know, you think about being up north right now, starting to put on jackets and jeans.
Well, the last time these two teams met, we told you it was a shootout. 77-56 was the final. 133 points were scored in that ball game. How would you like to score 56 points and lose?
That feels bad. Think about all the effort as a lineman going into putting points on the board, and then to be upstaged.
Yeah.
In essence, by somebody looked like a basketball score.
And you know, talking to some of the FAU players yesterday at practice, they were embarrassed by that. Losing that game. Clark and White set to receive the kick. And White's just going to let it go over his head. That last Middle Tennessee drive, 9 plays, 46 yards, took them 3:18. But the first time that FAU had the ball, they marched 7 plays, 75 yards. And it was an impressive drive because they ran the ball so much.
Ran so much, and it was just up-tempo, no huddle. There was no chance. As soon as the ball was set by the referee, they were snapping it. So let's see if they continue with that pace of going no huddle and just trying to keep Middle Tennessee on their heels.
Well, one thing that Scott Schaefer's defense does, the defensive coordinator of Middle Tennessee, he does like to blitz. But when you look on tape, a lot of the Middle Tennessee blitzes, they can create some gaps, and that's something I would believe that FAU's trying to look for on their run game. You'll see a lot of fake fly sweeps. Driscoll steps up in the pocket, throws it to nobody in particular.
And right there, you have to wonder where the communication's coming from, because that ball came out with with speed, and the receiver didn't even turn around to look at the pass.
2 wide receivers top of your screen. Interesting, after having great success running the football, they go to the pass to begin their second possession. Driscoll, 2 passes in a row, and that's a drop. Should have been caught right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, Solomon was the intended receiver on that one, and I don't know if he was thinking about what he was going to do after he caught the ball, but you have to secure that pass, and for the receivers, that's also going to help the quarterback in his confidence, is when you're actually catching the balls that he's throwing out there.
So that brings up a 3rd down and 10 situation. They only faced 1 3rd down in that opening drive. They were successful. They rush 5. Driscoll reads it, throws, pass again off the fingertips, and then Moffitt comes up to make a big hit. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, and Harrison Bryant is the intended receiver on this. He turns around and just catches it over his shoulder. Actually hits the defender in the shoulder pad. And wow, you would think after all the success they had running the ball, why are you not running the ball? 3 straight passes, not a single yard gain, and now you're kicking the ball back to Middle Tennessee and giving them pretty good field position.
Rickle will kick it away to Ty Lee. He muffed a punt last week. Fair catch called for at the 25, and that's where it will be. And with that, we'll take a break. Both teams scored on their opening possession. Let's see what Middle can do on their second. 7-3 is our score. 8:37 left to play in the opening quarter. For the most comprehensive team-by-team coverage across the NFL, join Dave Ross and two-time Super Bowl champion Bryant McFadden for the most timely news and in-depth analysis on Inside the League. That comes your way weekdays at 4 o'clock, only on WatchStadium.com. Along with Max Starks, I'm Ron Thulin. Last year, this Middle Tennessee offense put up 757 yards. Ty Lee up to the 30-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 5 for Lee, the sophomore out of Moultrie, Georgia.
And this is what we were expecting coming into this game tonight. You see Ty Lee running a couple of wildcat type of formations where he can be a running back, he can be a quarterback, and also play his comfortable normal position of wide receiver.
I'll tell you, he does everything back there. Urzua comes back into the lineup. Looks at Anderson, doesn't have him, dumps it off again to Lee. Quick move up to the 45-yard line before Jalen Young brings him down. He's got a little quick twitch there, doesn't he?
He does have a little wiggle in that frame, and you can see it here. I mean, he's one of those guys. Just look how fast he got to the point, got his reception, and then turned upfield. He is a difference maker. It was like a crazy screen, came out, then came right back in.
Well, he led all freshmen in the FBS last year, Ty Lee did, in receptions. Here's Anderson. Missed tackles by FAU allows him to get up to the 50. Pickup of 5 on the play.
And he did a tremendous job there with that. He earned every one of those 5 yards. He ran about 15 from the lateral movement, but what a great job. And, you know, this is going to be a fun matchup to watch tonight as both of these running backs, when they have the ball in their hands.
You know, Lane Kiffin's brother, Chris Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, telling us yesterday, we missed a lot of tackles versus Buffalo. That's one of our keys coming into the game, and they've missed a lot of tackles tonight already. Urzua's got time. Just a little pitch to Anderson. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Kieran Hafiz coming up from that linebacker spot along with Hosea Barnwell the 5th.
And what a great job here. Urzua takes the pass, kind of gives a little shovel out to the left side, but you see the defensive lineman strip off of the offensive lineman, and the second level attacks downhill. And they're going to need that tonight, because when you look at Middle Tennessee, this is what they do. They do a lot of misdirection. They do a lot of funky formations to get into position.
3rd down and 6. Urzua looks, hit as he throws, and he throws it into the ground. Great pressure put on by that front 4. Hunter Snyder did a nice job coming in, and I think he's the one that made the hit.
And you look right here, just the offensive lineman's there. He stops his feet, and he just continues to keep going. Snyder does a great job. Didn't even put on that much of a move on the left tackle, but the left tackle, once you stop your feet as a lineman, you are dead in the water, and the defensive lineman has all of the advantage.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're 0 for 4 on 4th down this season. This may be the pooch kick. Jalen Young is back, and that's exactly what happens. Young will take it at the 22. Over the 35, over the 40, up to the 43-yard line. That did not work out as planned.
That did not go on as you'd expected. We called this the Ranger kick back when I played for the Steelers, and Ben Roethlisberger was so good at this, where the quarterback will sit there, he'll stand at his normal position, then back up 3 to 4 yards, take the snap from the center, and then pooch it. But right there, Jalen Young was waiting for it, and he gave a great return for FAU, putting them in great field position for this 3rd drive.
And who were you with that? Steelers?
It's
just because our producer's a Cowboy fan. I want you to say Steelers,
yes,
not from Pittsburgh, as much as we possibly can.
Exactly.
Just to irritate him.
Greatest team in football.
So Driscoll and company go back to work, stop the last drive. This time they go back to the run. And again, it is Singletary. Bouncing off tackles left and right.
And you have to give kudos to the offensive line here. Watch the down block between the guard and the center, sealing the second level, and just creating a gigantic hole for Singletary to run through. And then even then took a couple more to take him down.
And they try the right side. Singletary, 49 yards for Forward John Rain comes up with that one. I tell you, Rain wasn't even on the depth chart. Didn't have any stats. The sophomore out of Miami. But he was so impressive yesterday in practice, we had to ask the coaches about him. Singletary again. He'll get the first down up to the 37-yard line. Singletary already over 50 yards running the football, and here comes that up-tempo offense.
Yeah, only 3 guys have really stats in this game.
Yeah.
For the Owls, but it's working for them.
Now they'll double stack receivers, top and bottom of your screen. Driscoll looks left, looks down the middle, pressure coming, wide open, overthrown. We talked about him missing some throws last week. That was a throw that he missed.
That should have been a touchdown. Look at the job here. The offensive line doing a great job giving him space. He delivers this pass. The receiver breaks inside, and Driscoll throws it to the outside of the route, and that is the difference between a touchdown and what we have here at 2nd and 10.
Now that is Willie Wright, the freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. Remember that name. This is an exceptional young man who's going to make his mark here at FAU. When in doubt, go back to the ground game. That'll be good for a pickup of 4 by Buddy Howell Jr. Real name is Greg. They call him Buddy, the senior out of Coconut Grove, Florida.
Ran a dive scheme right up the middle with a fake jet sweep motion coming from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen, and a solid run.
Howell will stay in the backfield. On 3rd down, they need 6. Howell's also dangerous catching, although he doesn't have a reception this year. If he does, he can scoot. They look like they're showing pressure. Driscoll keeps it. Dives forward inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down.
And a great job here, even though there was a little bit of a lane, but the problem is right there. Number 95, Trey Philpotts, takes it in, and that's where Driscoll knew to take it and just tuck it and keep it on that play for the first down.
And then Howell takes it and picks up almost 6 on the play, and Driscoll keeps the pace going. 84 yards rushing, 101 total so far for FAU. Keep it on the ground, straight ahead, and that'll be close to the first down. Devontae Moffitt coming up to make the stop on Buddy Howell, and again, they'll pick up the pace. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard. Cutting back, stood up at the 13-yard line. Forward progress should be good enough for the first down.
And they are getting plays in so fast right now that you don't even get to comment on all of them. Right here, this was the first down play, just a simple handoff with the quarterback running the boot out the backside to hold the backside defender, and now they're up.
And Singletary comes back in. They use hand signs. No playbook for FAU. Kendall Briles, the offensive coordinator, just signals everything in. High snap. Singletary cuts right, looking for Pater. Got it. Touchdown.
Second touchdown of the night for Devin Motor Singletary. And you wonder where his name came from. It's right here. Look at this. Nothing up front. Single jump cut to the backside. And then he is off to the races into the end zone for the second score for Singletary and the FAU Owls.
Singletary has put together back-to-back 100-yard rushing games, trying to make it 3 in a row. The extra point by Joseph is good. He's perfect on the season. 15 for 15. How about Devin Singletary? Second rushing touchdown tonight.
And just from the sideline view here, look, he diagnoses so fast, hey, there's nothing for me front side, let me jump cut to the backside, and doing it almost reminiscent of another Floridian and Fred Taylor, who was notorious for his backside jump cuts, and right there he did it with such smoothness. You have to wonder, hey, was he watching some Florida or Jacksonville Jaguar film growing up, or was he a fan? Because the way that he did that move was so effortless, and he's going to be a real challenge for this Middle Tennessee State team.
I love how he gives a little kudos to Jacoby Smith, the big right guard, the senior from Miami, giving him a little thank you. Desmond Anderson now set to return the kick. How about this rushing attack? 38th in the nation for FAU. They come in averaging just over 211 yards, and they're making their mark early on.
I mean, 100 already in, 100 plus into this first quarter. We're not even done yet.
Rooker's kick will be about 5 yards, make it 10 yards deep. Middle Tennessee really hasn't had great field position. They were burned by the Pooch kick. That allowed FAU to have the good field position and go on that 10-play, 57-yard drive that took just over 3 minutes. And Rick Stockstill's probably a little bit concerned right now. You know, they tried to shake things up last week. They try to change the tempo of the game. They try to use the clock a little bit more. And that was the strategy coming into this game.
But if you look at how Lane Kiffin's FAU team is, they don't need much time to get down the field.
Yeah. Lee now goes in motion. Bruce in the backfield. Here comes the pressure. Thrown over the middle. Caught. Penalty flag is thrown. Great reception. Smith inside the 30, inside the 25. Patrick Smith with his 12th reception of the season.
Well, the one thing I will say, it was thrown in front of the line of scrimmage, so it doesn't lead me to believe that it was an offensive holding by the line. But we'll see if this was possibly against the defense, if this was either a defensive holding.
Before the pass, holding, defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is a first down.
51 yards on the reception for Smith. That is a career high for him.
Yeah, and the defensive hold came right before Smith jumped in the air, draped over him, and you look at who that was. It was probably Jalen Young, the safety, that committed that defensive hold.
I'll tell you, Patrick Smith stepping up is huge. Richie James, Shane Tucker, again not playing. Starting quarterback Brett Stockstill also not playing. And that Stockstill to James connection, one of the most lethal in college football. Blue Raiders without it tonight. Urzua looks. Pass is incomplete.
Urzua threw it a little bit in front of the receiver when he was trying to run the comeback down the sideline. Great protection up front by the offensive line.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10. Ball sitting right at the 25-yard line. Urzua puts Lee in motion again. You'll see a lot of motion with Middle Tennessee. Gets it out to Lee. They surround him. Spins away from a couple of tackles. Gets down to the 19-yard line before Rashad Smith wraps him up, the sophomore out of Florida City, Florida.
And a great job here. Urzua sends Lee in motion, running a jet screen to the left. And Ty Lee has the spin moves for you. Just couldn't shake free to get anywhere past that 5-yard reception line.
Well, the first quarter has been the worst quarter for this FAU defense, and Chris Kiffin thanked me for bringing that up yesterday, which I thought was funny. Hand off Bruce. Nothing doing. Maybe picking up a yard, and again it is Rashad Smith. And talking to the coaches about Smith yesterday, they said he's made strides, and they really like his play.
Yeah, one of the things that's tough here, you run the tackle, we call it Tonto, but it's the tackle counter, and it's just a lot of space for a right tackle to move all the way to the left side of the line. It got sniffed out by the defense.
Rooker's first field goal attempt tied his career high at 46 yards. This one will be put down at the 26. It'll be a 36-yarder. High snap on the way. That'll sneak inside of the right goalpost. So Rooker with a 46-yarder and a 36-yarder, and now he has made his last 8 field goal attempts. This is a Nat's eye last year, isn't it?
That is very close, but then again, I thought he majored in geometry on the last kick, so I think we're doing good. We're doing good.
Well, there's a reason that the senior from Richmond Hills, Georgia, is a Lou Groza candidate.
That's very true, and he has put his leg on display early in this contest. 2 scores for both teams, but obviously the scores are not the same.
Exactly. Well, he's hit 17 of his last 18 going back to last season, and you got to love a kicker who's a biochemistry major.
I mean, nothing better than that right there.
I can't even spell it.
Exactly. This kid has smarts, and he knows what he's doing.
57-yard, 5-play drive from Middle Tennessee. 51 of those yards came on 1 pass. Again, nobody has returned a kick so far this evening. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, tremendous legs by both of these kickers tonight. You look at FAU, put it, 5-6 yards deep, and Brooker's taking it all the way to the end line on each of his kickoffs.
You know, I had a great conversation with Lane Kiffin yesterday, and I've known him since he was an assistant with Pete Carroll at USC. He was talking about his players, and he gave a lot of credit to former coach Charlie Partridge. He said, our guys do things really hard. Charlie recruited the kids that do the right thing. He goes, I don't have to tell these kids to run, come in and lift weights. He goes, I've got good kids.
Yeah, and they're always on time. You know, you look at after their game from Buffalo, got at 3 a.m., and the kids are already on their own working out 10 a.m. in the morning.
How about a little reverse? Oh, there's a lot of green. Up over the 35 to the 38-yard line. John Franklin III, the graduate transfer who played quarterback at Auburn. Coaches say one word about him: explosive.
And right there on the double reverse here, you see the first one tossed on the jet sweep, and the second one to come back around. And you got to love a quarterback that wants to mix it up. Jason Driscoll throws his body into the defender on a cut block to free Franklin.
We're going to see Franklin even run a little quarterback tonight, I would suspect.
That would be the smart thing, to just continue to keep teams honest and on their feet and having to game plan for him.
10 first downs already for FAU. They only had 9 in the entire game versus Wisconsin. Gareth White, the sophomore out of Florida, had a breakout spring, and he was kind of upset because people put him in a box of being the third down back. He said, I am not a third down back. I'm an every down back.
Yeah, I just happen to play third on this depth chart. That's it.
Well, the coaches confirmed that he's more than a third down back. Driscoll fakes, keeps, got the first down, still on his feet, down to the 40-yard line. Outstanding blocking by that offensive line of FAU.
And you look here, you go with the fake, and then he tucks it underneath. And look at the offensive line, sticking to their blockers and just allowing plenty of space for Jason Driscoll to run. And highlighted center Antonio Woods. I liked him there on that moment where he actually got to the second level.
Outstanding first quarter for FAU. They scored on their opening possession. Quarter number 1 is in the books. They lead it 14-6. Right as we sent it to break, the officials decided to review the last play. We couldn't figure out why, but if you look at the clock, there's 2 on the clock. By the time the ball snapped, the first quarter was already in the books.
It's ended right there, and you see the ball still wasn't snapped. So, whoopsie.
Oops.
My bad.
Clock watcher didn't catch that.
Yes.
So, Rick stands still. The ball will come back. His team will like that. I'll tell you, Rick is one of the all-time great coaches you ever want to spend any time with. When he took over the program, one of the things he wanted to do was focus on academics. Since he has been the head coach of Middle Tennessee, once again in his 12th season, his graduation rate, 96%. That's impressive.
That is remarkable and commendable, considering how many athletes have passed through those doors at Middle Tennessee State, and the fact that he is proud enough to say, hey, we get 96%, which actually is down, isn't it?
It was 97.
It's 97%.
Well, then they put my GPA in there.
Oh, that's what it was.
It brought it down. You know, to think about it, too, because not only is he the head coach, but the quarterback is his son. And this has to be a little tough on him because Brent is such an integral part. And also, forget about the football side. Brent Stockstill's one of the great young men that play the game of football, just made the Good Works team. Of course, he cracked his sternum, separated collarbone versus Syracuse. He's going to be out probably a little bit more, but got to be tough on Rick to have his son hurting like that.
Nah, it is tough, especially when you know how much he means to this team as a captain and as a leader, that he's not out there. But, you know, we know he's on the sidelines. We know he has a headset on, and he's still involved.
Yeah.
We make sure this offense runs smoothly.
Well, they found out where they're going to put the ball as we begin quarter number 2, along with Max Starks. I'm Ron Phil, and there's Brent Stockstill behind the orange hat there. There he is, steps out. And you'll see him with a headset. Coaches were telling us this week he's a big-time coach for John Azura. Go back to the run. Straight ahead. That'll be good for the first down up to the 49-yard line.
And once again, just a great job. Kareth White on the carry there. And they have a trio of running backs who can all get it done back there. That's what makes it tremendous for this FAU team.
Offensive line, Lane Kiffin saying last week they hurt them at times, is doing a good job tonight. Buddy Howell able to pick up about 4 on the play. And I tell you, Lane's got to be pretty pleased with his first down production here.
Yeah, first down production has been tremendous, has been great tonight. And when you look at it, the offensive line gets to move forward. Anytime a line gets to move forward and you get to double team defensive linemen, success is going to happen, and that's what you're seeing right now.
Well, offensive coordinator Kendall Briles calls the play, something that Lane has always done. Just a little dump pass to the tight end, Harrison Bryant. Pretty good tackle, though. There is Kendall Briles with the hand signals. Not wearing the long sleeve shirt, which has become a trademark of him.
And this is another good thing. Get Jason Driscoll on the move, just a little hide on a naked play to Harrison Bryant.
Spun around, getting close to the first down. It'll be 4th down and about a yard as they finally were able to corral Singletary, and quickly FAU lines up.
And you know they're going to run it here.
Oh, no, they don't. Pass complete, first down, then some. Inside the 30 to Willie Wright, the freshman we were telling you about a little while ago.
And great job here. Fooled me. But when you have such a successful run game and teams are honkered in and trying to keep enough guys in the box, you tend to forget guys who are on the outside. And right there, Willie Wright was wide open on this quick screen.
And then Rick Stockstill's got to burn a timeout because Driscoll got his team up quickly to the line of scrimmage. And I don't think Middle Tennessee had a chance to substitute anybody.
Yeah, and this is once again, this is a product of that the spread offense, but with the pickup tempo, no huddle. They're getting on the field, on the line, and getting their calls, and then running the ball, forcing teams to commit.
I tell you, Devin Singletary was the big difference in that opening quarter for FAU. 84 yards rushing on 11 carries, a couple of touchdowns, averaging 7.6 yards per carry in that first quarter, and this is what he has done so far this season. 6.4 yards per carry, 28th in the FBS. And how about today's numbers? And they're impressive. Trying to make it 3 straight 100-yard games. He's 16 away from that. And it's first down again for FAU. High snap. Driscoll brings it down. Rifle in the pass. Inside the 25. Again to Willie Wright. And that'll be the flag.
Late hit on the sidelines. That is not smart if you're Middle Tennessee. The guy's been declared out of bounds, and you give the extra shove. That was Chris Melton, who's probably going to get flagged with that late hit.
After the play, personal foul, defense, number 32, late hit out of bounds. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic, first down.
Now it is Chris Melton on that. We take a look at it again.
Another quick screen out there to right, giving him a lot of space. Out of bounds. And Melton, there we go. Don't extend your arms. It's different if you run into him with your chest.
Good point.
But once the hands are extended, that is a penalty, and that's clear for the side judge to throw that flag.
Now Singletary trying to get the trifecta back in the backfield. Driscoll keeps it inside the 5, inside the 2. And where are they going to mark it? At about the 1-foot line.
Oh, so close here.
Wow.
Look at, he had a triple option going there, but it was not your traditional triple option like wishbone style. He had a jet sweep coming across and fake to the running back, and then he took it himself.
And they quickly go again. The pile pushing closer and closer. Still no signal from the official. There it is, touchdown. Singletary's 3rd rushing touchdown of the evening.
And if you look at the replay here, he makes one guy miss in the backfield because he's so elusive, and then he just sticks his foot, goes north, and dives for the end zone. And 3 rushing touchdowns for Devin Motor Singletary tonight. He didn't add too much to his overall yardage, but that TD category is getting full very fast.
He had 5 rushing touchdowns coming into tonight. He's got 3 so far this evening. The extra point is good. 2nd straight 3-touchdown game for Devin Singletary. He capped a 10-play, 75-yard drive. FAU now up 21-6. We talked about Devin Singletary in the open, and for a reason, and he's showing us why tonight. 21-6 is our score. He's responsible for all 3 of the touchdowns. Tap into the group of 5 for extensive coverage on your teams with Campus Insiders. Join Ray Crawford, former Florida State cornerback Bryant McFadden, and Insider Reports from colleges across America. Catch Campus Insiders weekdays 4:30 only on WatchStadium.com. Now let's see if Middle Tennessee can answer the challenge. Only a couple of field goals so far tonight. Desmond Anderson backs up. And again, taking a knee.
A little chippy there on the kickoff,
Yeah.
but they get separated quickly. You don't want frustration setting in on anybody, but I know it has to be frustrating to be down 21-6 in this contest so early. And, emotions get a little charged.
Kicking team, number 37, 5-yard penalty, added to the end of the play, first down.
We were talking to Lane Kiffin about that. Those kind of penalties, we were talking about how unacceptable they are. And those are the kind of penalties that gets any coach gray hairs.
Yeah, pre-snap penalties are the ire of a coaching staff because they're the penalties that can be avoided.
Urzua and company have to go back to work. They'll go with a 4 wide receiver set, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. FAU showing pressure, but they only bring 3. Urzua throws into the flat, pass caught. Wyndham gets up over the 45, close to the 50-yard line, and that's where they'll mark him.
And you would think dropping 8 would make it tougher for the receivers, but right here, clean pocket. Urzua just delivers a drill there. C.J. Wyndham cuts up north, gets great yardage.
I'll tell you, I like the throw by Urzua on that. Had a little mustard on it, a little zip to it. Fresh set of downs. Anderson stacked up, maybe about a half a yard gain.
Yeah, stonewalled here on the off tackle play, taking the handoff from Urzua, coming cross body.
Now they'll give him a 1-yard pickup. Urzua actually was hurt last year versus FAU. He came in, replaced Brett Stockstill, who was hurt. Then Urzua got hurt. Richie James came in and played quarterback and had a monster game against FAU. Of course, James not playing tonight because he's hurt. Urzua looks into the flat, pinpoints his receiver, overthrown. Intended for C.J. Wyndham. It seemed as though, and I may be wrong, correct me, Max, if I'm wrong, he locked on to Wyndham the second that ball was snapped.
Yes, indeed. He didn't look off the safeties at all. And once his eyes got fixed on Wyndham, they all converged over in that area. And there was three owls in the area to make sure that C.J. Wyndham did not complete that reception.
Well, we thought Tony Franklin, offensive coordinator, would try to shake things up a little more here in this opening half. Still a lot of time. Here comes the pressure of 4. Urzua throws, pass caught inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line. That'll be good for a first down. Patrick Smith coming up with a reception.
And just a great job, great pocket protection here. There appears to be an injured owl down on the field. Look at the protection. Urzua now goes through his progressions and delivers a great shot to Smith, and first down for the Blue Raiders.
Tough to see the number of the injured player, but I want to go back to Urzua because just talking to the coaching staff about him, Tony Franklin and company, they were telling us how smart he is. They said his feet are better, his presence is better. And I think we've seen the better presence so far tonight, and a lot of it, he's getting coached up by Brent Stockstill. We'll step aside, come back, try to update the injury in a moment. Stephen Leggett was the injured player for FAU. He got up under his own power, and he is on the bench. And Middle Tennessee will go back to work, 1st and 10. Ball sitting at the 37-yard line. Urzua 9 of 14 so far tonight. Anderson's a safety valve, but he's all covered up, across his body, throws to Lee, makes the catch at the 10. Dangerous pass when you throw it across your body like that. You're shaking your head, partner.
It was just such an amazing progression there. You send your running back in motion to the right side, so your overloaded side. The offensive line does a great job picking up all the defenders, and there's Zua throwing cross body to Lee.
And now they're in the red zone. Anderson maybe gets one.
And FAU has been swarming this run in this second quarter. But another guy down for FAU, number 94 for FAU. That's Hunter Snyder. Down on there. Trainers are looking at him. That's 2 Owls in 2 plays there, Ron. On the defensive line as well. Already coming into this game, you knew there was some injuries and guys trying to, fill in at different places. Yeah. And now you've got 2 defensive linemen down in consecutive plays.
Well, we saw Hunter Snyder come up with some pretty good pressure early on. He had 4.5 sacks his sophomore year, which was last season. Integral part of his defensive line. I want to go back to the play of John Urzua, though. He has done a nice job managing this game. And the coaches said he can make the throws, he can run, and most of all, they called him smart.
And here's a replay. We've got him right here on the play. We're going to watch and see how it goes. He's chasing on the backside, goes to plant that leg, and teammate drilled him right with the helmet into the chest, and that's what sent him down to the ground.
2nd down and goal, ball sitting just inside the 10-yard line. 10:40 to play here in the opening half. Patrick Smith, bottom of your screen. Urzua, the quick toss intended for Lee, incomplete.
And just a hair in front of Lee's outstretched hand on the swing screen to the right side.
Well, he is their speed guy, which we have already seen tonight. Brings up a 3rd down and goal situation. 57% in the red zone this year for Middle Tennessee. They've been in the red zone 7 times. They've gone for touchdowns each time. They've been successful on 4. Urzua looks, lobs it down the middle, pass incomplete, knocked away. Zion Gilbert, the true freshman out of Montgomery, Alabama. Coach is telling us he's the real deal.
And exactly right here. Great pocket by the offensive line. Just soft touches, little arc. And Smith does not catch it with his hands. He tries to catch it with his body, and that gives Zion Gilbert the perfect opportunity to knock it down from his chest. So close to a touchdown. Watch it one more time here. Misses with the hand. Zion Gilbert forces it out with his hand, and now another field goal for Rooker.
This will be about a 27-yarder, looking for his 3rd of the evening. And he's got it. No, he didn't get it.
No good for Cannon Rooker.
His first miss of the year. He'd hit a 46-yarder tonight, a 36-yarder. This apparently would have been a chip shot.
And
I tell you what, that went right over the upright.
The goalpost, yep.
Rooker doesn't believe it. 10-10 to play in the half. Cannon Rooker was All-Conference USA last year, and we've been watching him the entire commercial break. He is in disbelief. This is tough, Max, because we can't tell exactly where it missed. It looks like it goes right over the top of the post.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, from this angle you see it, you think it's cleared at that point, which is inside the goalpost, but obviously we're not standing underneath it like the referees are.
Well, a break for FAU. They'll go back to work and again running the football. Break it up over the 30 to the 32-yard line. Again, Buddy Howe. And Moffitt coming up to make the stop. We've called his name a lot tonight.
One of the three of this three-headed monster is Buddy Howe.
Driscoll chased, does the wise thing and throws it away. Jason Driscoll, of course, his brother Jeff played for Louisiana Tech, and we have a penalty flag thrown far side of the field at about the 50.
Another illegal substitution penalty against the Blue Raiders. So that throwaway even gains them 5 yards.
As an offensive player yourself, it's got to be tough when you see the defense trying to substitute and you guys are go, 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 go.
It is a beautiful thing when you're the team that's applying that pressure.
Exactly.
It is a different one when you're receiving it.
And a lot of teams have found trouble with that. Bouncing up over the 40. Again, Buddy Howell Jr. You know, we talk about Lane Kiffin, obviously the head coach of FAU, his brother, Chris Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, but the legendary Monty Kiffin is kind of a defensive consultant. And I got to spend some time with the legendary, and I don't use that loosely, Monty Kiffin, talking about how defenses are starting to catch up to this quick offense, but they're not quite there yet. Monty, of course, was Super Bowl champion with Tampa Bay, coached 50 years.
I mean, you're right. Legend is the word.
Oh, it is.
You talk about Monty Kiffin, the godfather of Tampa 2.
You got it.
The real Tampa 2.
And he said he named it because the only reason it's called Tampa 2 is because they won the Super Bowl, he told me. But he did explain exactly what the Tampa 2 is for me.
False start there. Looked to be on the tight end. I couldn't tell which one it was.
False start. Offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty.
Oh, called it on the left tackle.
Correction, second down.
That was on Reggie Bain.
And Reggie Bain doing a lot right now. He's standing up here before he gets down. So obviously getting into that position. He's locked and loaded, ready to go, and boom, there it is. But great 2 steps right there.
Exactly.
Two chop steps.
Driscoll, nice one-handed catch. Dumps it off up to the 40-yard line. Harrison Bryant. Good job by Bryant just making the reception. That's his second of the evening, and they'll put it in a different gear again.
And just running another hide here on the naked. It's been working for him really well tonight.
Complement that with a run inside the 34, Devin Singletary. That'll be a pickup of about 5 on the play. He is very close to cracking the century mark.
Yeah, you can't get too much in before they're snapping the next play. So I'm going to stop right now.
and you know, you got to factor in, and we talked to Kendall Browse about this yesterday, how he wanted to increase the tempo because of the humidity it's been here the last couple of days.
And you can see it is paying off.
Driscoll, the quick toss, scampering out of bounds is again Willie Wright. Wright coming up with his 3rd catch tonight, and he is down and not getting up.
Yes, he's down on the sidelines. It looked pretty nasty there. Coming out on a quick screen, and then right there.
Oh, he slips.
Yeah, he slips. And, you know, those tarps on the sidelines are so slick, you can't really get your cleating and your footing down.
Well, let's hope Willie Wright is okay, because we've been looking forward to watching this young man play. Over the middle, wide open, inside the 10, the 5, Bryant again. Harrison Bryant having a career night tonight.
Hey, a quarterback's best friend and safety blanket is his tight end, and he has used both of them really well this evening.
And again, they hurry it up. Getting stacked up is White. Gareth White, the sophomore, call him Papa. And he's down.
And there's 2 guys down for FAU.
Down.
One's a lineman. Can't really see which one it is. Yeah, you have 64, Antonio Woods, the center, who's taking a knee, but I can't see the guy who is actually fully down on the ground. It might be 53, Jacoby Smith, the right guard.
Well, he is getting up and jogging off.
Okay, he's good. Yeah, looking at the replay, yeah, just a stack of bodies, and both those guys are down, but good to see them back up and moving.
Good play by Chris Milton coming around the backside to make that stop, the junior from Leesburg, Georgia. Because it looked like the hole was opening up. Milton made a pretty stout play.
Yeah, the play clock is running right now. And it looks like they had to bring a board down to draw a play up.
They use that a lot. They've got 10 to snap it, and they'll line up. Should have plenty of time. Driscoll gets them set up. Straight handoff, and they're going to lose about 4 on the play.
And you had an overload look to the left-hand side. And, yeah, could not get past that Blue Raider wall that was built.
I'll tell you, this is a good Middle Tennessee defense. Only allow 104 yards rushing a game. That is 24th best in the FBS. 3rd down and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. Eight on the line of scrimmage for Middle. Driscoll looks for the slant. Caught inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. DeAndre McNeil, his first catch of the evening.
And DeAndre McNeil is one of those explosive players that you need to get involved in the game, especially one that you're still not out of reach technically with a 21-6 score. So if you want to do anything to kind of close this game out, you're going to need to involve DeAndre McNeil moving forward and getting into the second half.
Well, here is Greg Joseph. He became FAU's all-time leading scorer against Bethune-Cookman. 4 for 4 field goal attempts this season. 45 for his career. Good snap, good hold. And he will split the uprights. Stays perfect on the year.
And it's tough if you're Middle Tennessee because now FAU has gone up and it's a 3-score game, down 18 points. They need touchdowns. They got to get into the end zone. And the only way they're going to do that, they've got to mix up this tempo and get moving. They've been close, 3 times, 2 good field goals. They've answered 2 of the touchdowns that FAU had, but obviously with the missed kick over the goal post, put them behind pace. Now you start to say, hey, that Brent Stockstill effect is starting to kick in where you're like, hey, we're missing this guy. We're missing Richie James. And those guys are very integral to any type of success that Middle Tennessee wants to have moving forward.
I'll tell you, 18 straight games, Brett Stockstill had thrown at least 1 touchdown pass. That was number 2 in the FBS, active right now, and Anderson will let this one go in the goalpost. Well, we talked at the top of the show what they were missing. This is what they were missing from the signal caller spot. Brett Stockstill, undoubtedly the leader of this team.
Yeah, and you just see all that he offers on the move, making throws, moves with his feet, and then precision passing from the pocket. So that's what you're missing. You're missing a guy who has tremendous skill all around as a quarterback, and you see this is his season thus far and his overall effect on the Middle Tennessee program.
Well, he puts up some hefty numbers. He and James were lethal together. Anderson tries the left side. Actually will probably lose 2 yards. I mean, look for Middle Tennessee. You have the pooch kick, which really didn't amount to a whole lot because of the great return. That cost you. Then you have the missed field goal. That cost you. Special teams.
Special teams has been a difference tonight, but the onus is on the offense to get in the end zone to take the pressure off of the special teams.
Urzua gets the low snap, stands tall in the pocket, rifles the pass. That'll be caught over the 30-yard line, about 2 yards short of the first down to Patrick Smith.
Patrick Smith does a great job of getting open. Nice, clean pocket. 3-man rush still by FAU, dropping 8. and Urzua is still finding open receivers and finding the holes in this defense.
Inside of 5 minutes to play in the half, Smith pulling down his third reception of the evening. Lee in motion. Urzua looks for him. Got him. Great misdirection play. Stops on a dime and spins. Got the first down up to the 43-yard line. I'll tell you what, that's just some flat-out good play calling by Tony Franklin.
It is. Ty Lee makes himself available, and he's open more often than not. Urzua is doing a great job of IDing and finding the open receiver because they are running free. You know, that last play, they didn't drop 8. They dropped 7. They brought 4. But great job by Urzua in his recognition.
Yep. Gives him a fresh set of downs. To Smith. Makes the catch up to the 45-yard line. You look at this Middle Tennessee offense on tape. They run a lot of formations, a lot of unbalanced line, sweeps, jets, fake jets. They pretty much keep a defense on their heels.
Exactly, and all the different formations, you look at how they're lining up. It is just amazing that the receivers and everybody can remember what they're supposed to do.
2nd down and 8 after a pickup of 2, closing in on 3.5 to play. Tony Franklin, offensive coordinator. You look at his offenses the last 10 years, always ranked in the top 10 in the FBS. Urzua just dumps it off left side. Good defense. Wrapping up Jock Bruce.
And Jock Bruce is just running a little stop route, a little angle route out of the backfield. But there they are. The FAU Owls defense is corralling more than one guy. Is on the receiver, not allowing any yards after the catch.
Kieran Hafiz and Shelton Lewis, we've called their names a lot tonight. That brings up a 3rd down and 6 situation. And they'll roll to buy some time. Pressure coming, throws on the run, caught, 1st down. That was a tough catch, tough throw. C.J. Wyndham on the reception.
And look at it here, C.J. Wyndham runs a nice out route. He sticks it and gets to the outside. And right there, right as he's sticking, John Urzua is delivering the football. And what a great job on the run. And Middle Tennessee needs to do more of this because they got to get down the field and they got to put points in the end zone.
With 2.5 to play, they've got 2 timeouts left. Urzua looks, tries to play into the flat, and Anderson, I may think that you're going to say that may be incomplete because he stepped out of bounds.
It would actually be good
because
if not, it would be a negative play. Okay. Yep, look at the incomplete pass here. Once again, Anderson's feet is always the topic of controversy. And right here, yep, steps, the right side of his foot is out of bounds, which is actually good because they don't lose those 2 yards.
Absolutely, and also they stop the clock.
Yes.
Now they're going to empty the backfield. Urzua sees the pressure again, steps up in the pocket, throws across his body, picked off. 27-yard line, the ball was tipped, and Jalen Young comes down with it. His 6th career interception, 1st of the season.
And the star for this defense at the safety position, number 18, Jalen Young, is sitting back on the back half. You can't see him on your screen yet. And then there he is, sitting back as a center fielder. Pops it with one hand and then brings it down with his body off the tip pass. And FAU slows down Middle Tennessee once again with the turnover.
And that's been a problem for Middle Tennessee. They're -7 in turnovers this season. They've lost the turnover battle every game they played this year, 4 straight. The last time they won a turnover battle was November 26th of last year. And that was versus FAU.
Yeah, and the tides have changed here from a year ago.
Buddy Howell up to the 30-yard line with 2:07 to play in the half. And 265 total yards for Florida Atlantic, 219 for Middle Tennessee. And Rick Stockstill he was telling us a couple of days ago, he goes, Ron and Max, it's frustrating. We can't keep turning the ball over like this.
Yeah, 7 under on the season is is not good, especially when a year ago you were in a better position. But I get, hey, guys graduated. There's a lot younger team playing for Middle Tennessee on the offensive side of the ball.
Now they've had luck running it. They're trying it again. This time the Middle Tennessee defense stands up to the challenge. And you like seeing that after a turnover.
Yeah, you just look at what they've done the last 3 drives here, and obviously, time ticking out, and this is something you don't see normally. Taking their time at the line of scrimmage, trying to bleed this clock out to get to halftime.
Closing in on 60 seconds to play in the opening half. You just joined us. Florida Atlantic sort of set the tempo for this game on their opening drive, taking it all the way for the first score of the game. Middle Tennessee tried to answer with a field goal, and that's all they've been able to come up with. A couple of field goals tonight. Driscoll rifling the pass, caught, stepping out of bounds right at the first down marker. DeAndre McNeil on the catch.
And great job of moving the tempo and heads-up play to get out of bounds to preserve the clock so you can at least get something on the scoreboard with the last 42 seconds left here.
Well, he didn't get the first down. He was right at the marker. They're saying he's about a half a yard short. And Lane Kiffin probably want to make sure about that.
Yeah, that changes what you do on this play.
Now they're letting the play clock go down. It's at 3. And here it is again, going out of bounds. Where did he step out? About the 36.5-yard line. He needed to get almost up to the 37.5.
And they're going to challenge the spot here for the replay. So FAU believes they had enough for that first down. So they're sending the referee over to the instant replay area to get confirmation whether he made enough for the first down or if it's going to be 4th and short.
I tell you what, looking at it at our replay, which is what the officials are going to see, it doesn't look like he got it. He had to get up to almost over the 38-yard line.
Yeah, forward progress, would probably get him. It pushed it back. It looks like he got about 37.5-yard line and then tried to force it back.
I don't think that's proof enough to overturn it.
Yep, you're right. Here's another angle.
So that's why I like being around you. You say, when I go home, my wife never says that to me. So see, I like hanging around you.
Yeah. That's what makes a good booth relationship
there
here.
You go.
Be in agreement with each other.
I think Lane Kiffin has got to be pleased with his team. Talking to him yesterday and spending a lot of time, and we thank all the coaches, both staffs.
Both staffs were tremendous.
But Lane was great with us yesterday, and I know everybody has the image of what Lane Kiffin is, and I mentioned before that I've gotten to know him over the years, but he was so disappointed in the way they played last week.
Yeah.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. 4th down. FAU is charged with their first timeout.
Not just stands, but confirmed.
Yes, confirmed. That's double when you use that word.
Yeah, Lane was telling us that, they thought they played very well the week before, and then they wanted that Buffalo game, and he said, we just didn't play well. He goes, it was very disappointing, and they had to get right back out and try to get rid of that disappointment, but the guys handled it very well. In fact, on Tuesday, members of the FAU team, they went to Boys and Girls Club here in the city and spent some time, and everybody seemed to be in a pretty good mood and getting over the fact that they basically gave that game away.
And if you go back and you watch that game, it was so many opportunities where they could have won it. It wasn't like it was one specific play. There was a couple of plays in there. Running back out of the backfield was one. That post route that was wide open, kind of like the one earlier tonight here, going into our left end zone, was another one where it kind of threw it behind the guy when he made the break for the post, and he was throwing it for the corner.
So 42 seconds left to play in the half, 24-6 lead. 2 timeouts remaining for FAU. Ty Lee is now standing back at about the 20-yard line as FAU is going to just kick it away. I think it's pretty much a smart play.
tried to force the issue, tried to get them to jump off sides. And Middle Tennessee was smart, stayed with their scheme and stayed smart and did not allow any sounds to get them. Everybody was focused in on the football and did not flinch.
Well, Ryan Rickle will kick it away. His first punt was 50 yards. His season long is 53. Graduate student out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I like the fact they're kicking it, though.
Smart, because you don't want anything to happen. Pin them deep so that Middle Tennessee can't throw Hail Marys towards the end zone before the end of the half.
Lee averaging, coming into this game, only 0.7 on punt returns. Here comes the pressure. And Lee goes over to his right, goes over his head into the end zone. That was a great fake job by Ty Lee.
I was just about to say the same exact thing. He pulled them all the way to the middle of the field, and the ball was outside of the hashes and just flies into the back of the end zone for the touchback. And, I mean, you have 31 seconds left. Middle Tennessee has 2 timeouts. I mean, if you could get the ball vertically down the field, I mean, you still have a shot at least at a field goal before the end of the half.
When you look at that combination of Richie James, who's not playing tonight, and Ty Lee, what they have done. 315 total receptions. They were number 2 active receiving. Nice little spin job by Anderson. It'll stop the clock as he gets up to the 34-yard line with 23 seconds to play in the half.
And Middle Tennessee's going to need to hurry up, get on the ball, get everybody released. So once the clock starts ticking, they got to get a play off.
Ty Lee is in the slot, bottom portion of your screen. They're looking for him. Throws, pass is going to be picked off. At the 50-yard line, Shelton Lewis with his first career interception.
And this was one of the concerns Rick Stockstill had coming into this game tonight, was about John Azura and the fact that he likes to force passes. And right there forced the pass in that situation. Receiver wasn't even ready for the ball. And now another turnover before the end of this half at midfield for FAU.
So Shelton Lewis coming up with his first career interception. Jalen Young, he's got his 6th career interception tonight. 2 turnovers for Middle Tennessee.
And that drives them further down the list. -8 on the turnover differential.
12 seconds left. Driscoll throwing the pass, caught down to the 45-yard line. Clock stop with 6 ticks left. Harrison Bryant having a big game tonight for FAU.
Great job of getting out of bounds, but 6 seconds left. You're going to have to get something off quick to give your team enough time to get their punting unit out there. You're looking, running it to the sidelines. Defensive back should be playing brackets, covering everything to the inside and forcing those guys to the outside.
Greg Joseph's longest this year, 54 yards, and Middle Tennessee is going to burn the timeout.
Timeout on the field. Middle Tennessee State does not want to give the ball up. You're thinking right now where they're standing on this second down, they're at about the 45-yard line of FAU. They need to get at least, I'd say, 12 to 13 yards on this play. Plus, they have to get out of bounds. So you need 3 seconds. Tall task. Middle Tennessee State does not want them to get that. They will be guarding those sidelines.
Now, 54 is the career long for Greg Joseph, and you can see a good example of just how far they've got to go. 6 ticks left. Rifle on the pass, caught down to the 37-yard line. 4 seconds went off. McNeil on the catch. That's going to bring in the field goal unit. Joseph will be the kicker. J.R. Clancy will be snapping.
And right here, nice double move to the inside. And I was thinking they need to get out of bounds, but that slant was so fast, and they got the timeout called immediately. Gave them plenty of time.
Well, this will be a 47-yard attempt. Had a 22-yarder earlier. Check that 56-yard attempt. This will be his career long. Good snap, good hold, block.
Block kick.
First block this year on a field goal attempt.
Yeah, you look at coming from the edge here. Ball came in a little high. Takes a little bit extra time to get it down. And then right there, right off the wing. I can't tell if that's Correll Smith, number 29, or if it's somebody else.
I think it's Maurice Gordon or Darrell Randolph, one of the two.
Yeah, it was one of those guys. Great, tremendous job with that paw.
287 total yards for Florida Atlantic, 233 for Middle. The difference, a couple of special team mistakes and a couple of turnovers. We're at intermission, 24-6, FAU leading Middle Tennessee.
And welcome inside the stadium studios. I'm Ray Crawford. We'll get you to the second half in just a few moments. Let's talk college basketball now in Conference USA with the head coach at Middle Tennessee, Kermit Davis. And coach, back-to-back appearances in the NCAA tournament, not only getting there, winning your first-round games. How has that success in the postseason helped impact your program?
Well, you know, I think that we're all reaching for national brand recognition. And, you know, it started really about 7 or 8 years ago, but the last two, when you can win on a national stage against Power 5 opponents like Michigan State and Minnesota. So I can just tell, obviously, it's affected recruiting. It's affected season ticket sales. I think our fan base is growing. There's still a lot of work to do in both areas, but there's no question that the MT brand has reached really from kind of West Coast to East Coast, and that's great for us all to see.
You lost some key players from last year's team. How do you replace those guys?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to replace a guy like Reggie Upshaw, who was basically a 4-year starter. He has the all-time wins total leader in the history of our school. Ja'Cory Williams, Conference USA Player of the Year. And both guys talented, but their basketball IQ was so high. But we've got veteran guards back, you know, Tyreek Dixon, Ed Simpson, Giddy Potts, Antoine Johnson, all guys that played tons of minutes. You know, Giddy Potts may go down. He has to win a bunch of games, but could break Reggie's record for the all-time wins leader, has a chance to be our all-time leading scorer. And then I feel, you know, Brandon Walters was a 6'10" center who averaged double figures in the 2 NCAA tournament games. Got a graduate transfer in Nick King. Carl Gamble's a 6'10" junior that has kind of waited his turn. He's had a great spring and summer. So have to replace both those guys by a committee of people to up their level.
How important are Giddy Potts and the other seniors into what you want to accomplish this year?
Yeah, you know, it's just absolutely Giddy's team. We've had some great leaders over our periods of time of winning, and Giddy has led in the spring and summer and thus far in the fall better than any senior I've ever had. So it's absolutely he and Ed Simpson's teams. Brandon Walters, another senior. Obviously, Nick King, the graduate transfer, has only been here for 4 or 5 months. So he's trying to develop into a leading role. But really, Ed Simpson and Giddy are the two guys who have done an unbelievable job in the locker room, weight room, and all summer long.
Coach, we heard your name mentioned in a couple of job openings during the offseason. You decided, though, to sign an extension and stay. What is it about Middle Tennessee that keeps you there in Murfreesboro?
Well, you know, I've raised both of my daughters here, and very seldom in this day and age can a Division I head coach move his family when his daughter's in the 4th grade and she gets married at 24 years old at the same church. So that's a rarity. And you do that because of I have one president. Dr. McPhee hired me 16 years ago. Great relationship with him. I've only had 2 ADs, both really, really good guys that we have great relationships with them. And then you have to get to campus, and you have to get to Murfreesboro. I mean, it's the 10th fastest growing city in the country. It's a vibrant area. And I say all the time, I just hope that we're Gonzaga where they were about 6, 7 years ago. Hope we're Butler where Butler was about 5 or 6, 7 years ago. I think we've got that capability. Now, we're going to swing for the fences. We got a lot of hard work to do, but that's exactly where we are. And that's why I signed a new long-term deal to 2024 to see this thing through, hopefully to the biggest point that you can get to at our level.
And, of course, Middle Tennessee opens up November the 2nd against Arkansas Fort Smith. Coach, best of luck to you this season. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us as well. We'll get you to the second half on Boca Raton in just a moment. And a reminder, you can watch Stadium every day on the Stadium app or watchstadium.com. That's also where you can find out how you can watch us over the air in your market.
If you're battling a
We're at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida, along with Max Starks. I'm Ron Thulin, and it is a game that Florida Atlantic knew was almost a must-win situation as both teams open up Conference USA play. That's Max. I'm Ron. Good to have you with us. And I tell you, that first half was interesting because I like the fact that FAU went down, scored on their opening possession. Then Middle Tennessee, they came back with the field goals, which helped, but then the turnovers again plagued them.
Yeah, the turnovers plagued them at the end of this half. You look at the pacing that they needed to have in this game, they were going to have to keep up with them because FAU decided, hey, we're going full tempo. We're not huddling. We're going to get you. They got them with a couple of those offsides penalties, legal substitutions, just to make sure that they were keeping up the pace. And Middle Tennessee tried to answer, but at this point now, you've got to get touchdowns.
Absolutely. Field goals aren't going to do it. We got a lot of scores going around Conference USA, around the league today. UTSA, the only team that is off. Rice had a tough time at Pitt today, losing 42-10. FAU, they are behind with the 49ers 26-14. Cincinnati being skunked by Marshall 24-0. UTEP, they lose another, unfortunately, by 14. And Louisiana Tech up by 4 at halftime. And North Texas trailing Southern Miss by 4, also at intermission. Beautiful day here in Boca Raton. We'll have color pictures and highlights and numbers after this. FAU rushes for 167 yards in the opening 30 minutes. One of the reasons they lead by 18, 24-6, and that leads Devin Singletary 95 yards rushing so far tonight.
And Devin Singletary has been electric. He's been everything that his nickname speaks. His motor. As you look here, breaking down the sidelines, shuffling, juking guys, getting it, not quitting, getting into the end zone, and he finds it 3 times this evening. Here's another big run, scampering into the end zone. And right here, the least spectacular of the 3 touchdowns. This is just a rudimentary 1-yard touchdown. And that has been really the highlights of this game. Coming back in a couple of minutes, Middle Tennessee, FAU 24-6.
Now the families that are in attendance like what they see so far is Florida Atlantic trying to win their 2nd game of the year. Let's take a look at some of the numbers that we promised you. And here they are, kind of a comparison. And obviously rushing is the big stat if you're FAU. Not so big if you're Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, and the passing, you look at the passing, they've done a decent job passing the ball tonight. But the other big glaring stat right there, first downs, 2-to-1 is the ratio. And that's why FAU is on top of Middle Tennessee, 24-6.
Here's a positive. Middle Tennessee, they're 4 of 8 on 3rd down, but once again, a missed field goal and kind of the botched pooch kick, that has hurt. Anderson, again, will let it go. Nobody has returned a kickoff so far tonight. All touchbacks. How important is this right now for Middle Tennessee to try to generate something going here in the first part of the second half?
If Middle Tennessee wants to get back into this game and really take the crowd out of it, they need to respond on a score on this drive. You've got to come out of the halftime showing that you've made adjustments and that you're ready to play football.
Once again, their last loss in Boca came in 2007. Swing it out to Anderson. Short gain of about 3 on the play. Anderson, his 3rd catch so far tonight. Look at it again.
Nice swing pass out here to Anderson. And this is what Middle Tennessee's identity is. It's swing passes, short passes, and then they try and hit you over the top, and that's when their run game starts functioning, once they get the passing game laterally going.
Urzua, a couple of fakes, scrambling, being chased, throws it out of bounds. Good pressure put on by Hunter Snyder, the junior out of Palm Harbor, Florida. We saw him with great pressure in the first half, even getting dinged up a little bit, but obviously he's healthy now.
Yeah, he's healthy. He came in right at the end of the first half, and he's back to where he left off, pressuring the quarterback off of the edge.
Well, when this Middle Tennessee offense is healthy, they are good. Case in point, the Syracuse game. They are not healthy for this game. Urzua has some time, rifle in the pass, caught good enough for a first down up to the 38-yard line. Had a little zing on that in the double coverage, and C.J. Wyndham pulls it down, his third reception.
Yep, great protection right here, and great lane for John Urzua, and he delivers it as C.J. Wyndham breaks right in between two defenders and makes the catch.
I'll tell you, I love the hand-to-hand combat, the way he won that battle.
Yeah, this is a tough thing. Receivers aren't going to have an easy job.
Anderson spins, picks up maybe a yard. We were talking to Tony Franklin earlier this week about, did they simplify the offense for John at quarterback? He said absolutely not, because he's been in the program a while. He understands the offense, and we think he can run this offense.
Yes, we do think he can, and you're seeing that they're not holding anything back from him.
Well, this offense is still a work in progress. I think it's safe to say they're still searching for their identity, because they haven't found that one running back yet. Anderson goes in motion. Again, the little quick pass. That'll be up over the 40 to the 43-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. Brown on the reception. Like the way he settled into that zone.
Yes, he's settled in, and I think the identity is it is going to be a lot of short passes, but they're moving the ball. I think that's the biggest thing. They're moving down the field.
Third down and about 5. Urzua will look to the sideline. Urzua throws into the flat. Pass is caught. And that should be good enough for a first down as Jock Bruce fights his way. We're pleased to have joining us right now. He is a legend here at Florida Atlantic University. He actually started the program. He's won a national title when he was head coach at Miami, and joining us now, the ambassador at large for FAU, Howard Stellenberg. Howard, good to see you again, my friend.
It's very good to see you, sir.
Good to see you again. How special is it for you to see how far this program has come since you started it with basically nothing in 1998? You were named director of football ops, and you had to bring everything from scratch. How satisfying is it to see it right now like this?
Well, first of all, it was a great thrill to do this thing and to be asked to do that by the president of the university. And I was thrilled with the reception we got and the fact that we could move it ahead and get it to this point. And the stadium is probably the last thing that I'll have a hand in here. And we're well on our way.
And you have the field named after you, obviously, but I don't think people realize everything you had to do. You were named director of football ops. You had design plan. You had to raise funds. You selected the coach, and I think you made a good selection on the coach because it was you.
Well, I tried to get Don Schuler's wife, son David, to come, and the guy that's coaching at Miami.
Butch Davis?
No, the quarterback now. Anyway, he was my quarterback in Miami, and I thought one of those two would make a good pick here. But my boss and the people who were giving us the money thought that I would be the best guy. I sequestered.
There's a fake punt going for it on 4th down, and they will get it. Middle Tennessee will retain possession, moving it forward to about the 48-yard line. Your first practice here, you had 178 walkouts, Coach. Only 22 scholarships. That was interesting.
Well, that was the thing. This program, this university in this place, in South Florida is so attractive to these guys, and with my background in Miami and Louisville, because at Louisville I had come down to Miami and brought them up to Kentucky, and they had a belief that we could do what we said we could do, and they came aboard.
Before I let you go, I think there's two people that I know of that call their wife their bride, even though they've been married a long time. One of them's me, and I know one of them's you, and your lovely, she just gives me the thumbs up, by the way. Your lovely bride's also in the booth right now. She has been with you, and that is a very special relationship for the two of you.
Well, she's been the commander-in-chief of the home and the assistant head coach to my players. She spent a lot of time making bed checks and doing a lot of things with her parents. And yeah, I think she's one of a kind. I don't know any other coach's wife that has been quite as closely involved with the team itself.
Well, Beverly has done a great job. I call mine the War Department because she handles everything. She plans everything for me. So she's the War Department in our house. Coach, it's always a pleasure having you part of our telecast. Incredible job putting together not only this program but the field and the whole tradition that started here at FAU.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to do this. It looks like we got it in gear now, and oh my goodness!
Well, you don't want to see that.
As I open my mouth.
Well, that kind of stuff happens as Tyrese Johnson comes up. Coach, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Barbara, thank you for allowing us to be with us. Coach Howard Snellenberger, one of the legends in college football, winning the national title. Back in 2003, he went 11-3. In fact, his first win was against Middle Tennessee as head coach at FAU. Pass tipped. Is it picked? No, incomplete.
Such an honor just to hear Coach Snellenberger here and hear his story and everything he's done. And you look at right there, hit the ground. It wasn't an interception. But the previous play, before the big play, there was a nice sack there by Hunter Snyder to put Middle Tennessee back. But what a tremendous job through the air, getting them up and now almost in the red zone.
Urzua goes back to work, throws looking for Lee in the end zone, caught.
Beautiful throw there.
I'll tell you, that is a touchdown. Ty Lee, the pass, though, was right on the money. We do have a penalty flag.
Appears to be defensive because they're moving the guys up.
I think it is unsportsmanlike. He threw the ball into the crowd.
Post touchdown.
Oh boy,
yeah.
You're Rick Stockstill. You're scratching and clawing, trying to get back into this game. You have a great touchdown pass,
only to have 15 yards tacked on to the end of it.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 8. That penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
Well, let's take it here. Look at the replay. Great pocket. Once again, sending 3, dropping 8. Ty Lee is too fast, outruns 2 defenders to the front pylon of the end zone, and then there is the penalty. There's a happy fan that has a football, and then there's a grumpy head coach on the sidelines.
Rooker with the extra point is perfect. Well, Middle Tennessee, prior to that drive, had not scored on an opening drive in the second half this year. They do it with the Urzua to Ty Lee connection. 24-13 our score. Chadarzua throws his 3rd touchdown pass tonight, his 11th of his career. It goes to Ty Lee, who's already set a season high for reception yards. But John has really put the ball on the money in that drive, found a little seam in that zone, and he's taken advantage of it.
Yeah, he's taken full advantage. He's sliced up this zone coverage, which is we'd call cover 8. And he has found the zone. Cover 8 is supposed to be your prevent, please do not throw on me type of defense. Right. And rushing those 3 guys, the offensive line's handled them well, and he has just absolutely carved them up, almost 270 yards. And we're not even halfway through this 3rd quarter, and found the end zone, which was sorely needed for this team and their confidence. And they are now back in this football game, and they've got life. Let's see what the defense can do to stall off the Owls.
White and McNeil set to receive the kick. 9:42 to play in the 3rd quarter. Clark also back there. You never know with Middle Tennessee what they're going to do. This is going to be the short kick. Clark picks it up over the 40 to the 42-yard line. And again, another short kick. We saw it on the Pooch punt. They got a good return on this one. Clark gives them good field position.
Gives them excellent field position. And this is what we don't want for this FAU Owl team, is to give them the short field. And what they're doing is they've already changed the field position. So even if you stall them, you're going to be pinned deep. No matter what happens, unless there is a turnover. So for MTSU defense, they're going to have to stiffen their necks and just really not allow much, because this FAU team was red hot in the first half.
And once again, because of that penalty, they had to kick the ball. They had to move it up 15 yards, or move it back 15 yards, I should say, which allowed, again, FAU to get good field position. Here comes Driscoll again. They run that little jet sweep. It'll probably go down as a pass because it looked like a lateral. Solomon.
It looked like he was faking it and then tossed it to him at the last second. Let's look at it here. Yeah, because he was past him and kind of shoveled it out to him. And what a great job to keep the focus and catch that ball.
It only picked up a couple of yards. Again, the run game that was so successful in that opening half. They set the tempo on that first drive. Singletary on the coverage, or on the carry. Only needed 5 yards to reach that, or 9 yards to reach 100. And he got about 3 on that play. Good job defensively by that right defensive side of Middle Tennessee, stopping FAU 2 yards short of the first down, bringing up a 4th down. What do you do now?
And this is a great job. I mean, at this point, you're at midfield. You know, you either take the delay and then punt it, or you try and go for it. And there is another defender down for the Blue Raiders. That would be number 31, Sanders. Palm Beach.
After their longest drive of the year, 12 plays, 75 yards, Ty Lee got the touchdown, then got the penalty, and Rick Stockstill had a little talk with him just a few moments ago. It didn't seem all that upset.
Constructive criticism at that point.
Oh, wait till the film session.
Oh, but they're going for it on 4th down here.
And they should. 4th down and just about a yard. They move Harrison Bryant, the tight end, over. Try to get it on the run game, and they're not going to get it. Middle Tennessee holds.
What a tremendous job here by the Blue Raider defense. Great pushback. Pushing back the center of that offensive line, allowing for their secondary to knife through. Javonte Moffitt, who's made plays all day today, just absolutely knifes through the gap to stop Singletary from making the first down. And great field position for Middle Tennessee. Momentum is now on their side, midfield.
How about 12 tackles for Javonte Moffitt coming, or as of right now? He had 31 coming into this game, and now, again, Middle Tennessee can get things going. Let's see if this FAU defense can tighten up. Urzua's got time. He's going to run, doesn't slide, and he's hit forward down to the 38-yard line. That'll be good for the first down. Wagner on the stop.
Great job here. Once again, 3-man rush. The offensive line holding up well. There's just nobody to throw to when you have 8 guys in coverage. And he makes it up for himself, and now it's 2nd and looks to be 1.
I thought they may have given it to him because he was pushed forward down to about the 38-yard line. 2nd and short. Handed off. Anderson gets the first down to the 37-yard line.
And just a solid zone right run scheme here. Anderson just going with the flow of his linemen and just kind of knifing in there at the last minute, but more than enough to secure the first down for Middle Tennessee.
Anderson with just about 38 yards rushing so far tonight. 1st and 10, but they are in FAU territory. Urzua looks left, throws a little quick slant into Smith, incomplete.
Too much mustard in there to Smith on the quick slant coming from the bottom of your screen and up to the left. And, I mean, he's done a great job tonight of really finding Urzua and making sure that he made himself available and open. And this passing game has been really spectacular for Urzua. Just hasn't landed in too many end zone opportunities. We had Ty Lee on the last drive, and we're trying to see if he'll do it again this drive.
Urzua with a 4-man rush, plenty of time. Backside pressure, goes down far side. Incomplete, intended for Anderson, but we do have a penalty.
Yeah, penalty flag here. Not sure if it was holding. I couldn't even see where the flag was actually thrown from.
It looked like it was thrown right from the sideline. And Rick does it all. I think it helps the official pick up a little laundry. Well, it was called on Curran Hafiz, the linebacker from FAU. They called it holding. No, I tell you what, the wheels looks like are falling off right now for FAU.
Yeah, they are. And the response afterwards, yep. And he's pointing downfield and jogging with them.
Urzua goes to work, rifling it out to Anderson, incomplete. Well, they're going to say it was complete. He stepped out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
So completion with no gain here. And see Urzua looking at the sidelines, doing a great job of managing and getting guys into the right formation.
On 2nd down and 10. And movement on that offensive line looked like Lucas Hamilton, the left guard.
Yeah. Big man was trying to suit up and get himself ready, and he did not get it. Left guard. There he is right there. And he's waiting. And he hears something. And wow, it was like a two-part false start there.
Exactly.
He flinched and then he moved. You know, I share sentiments.
But you never had a penalty called on you, so
you never called on me, and
never.
and never a double penalty at all.
Urzua looks. Here comes the pressure, and he's going down. Hunter Snyder has been a thorn in the side of this Middle Tennessee offense tonight. He gets the sack
of the end. And Hunter Snyder, coming from this position right here, is going to do what he's been doing all night, pressuring and harassing the quarterback, coming inside on a slant move. Look at the swim, and then he just comes in and makes the sack.
First sack of the season for Hunter Snyder. And it's third down and a bunch.
Yeah, Hunter Snyder. Sorry, he was playing on the other side of the line.
And Anderson, he is going to be corralled after a pickup of only 2.
And this FAU defense has kicked it into high gear. 2 back-to-back plays now, and now a flag on the field.
Yep. Boy, you can't have dumb penalties this juncture of the ball game. Officials will talk it over. I think you're right, though. What an outstanding job this FAU defense did. They were kind of put into a hole, and they've come up with a couple of big plays.
They have answered on the turnover of downs thus far. They have been highly aggressive and blitzing Middle Tennessee.
There's no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. 4th down.
Okay, they changed the call. Well, not sure what it was, but the bottom line, it is 4th down and 22 to go.
Yeah, I think the issue was, probably looking there and thinking of a chop block. Going below the knees, and since he was vertical and not going towards the goal line, you have to, if you're going to throw a cut block, you got to be aiming towards the line of scrimmage, and he was aimed parallel.
FAU had to run a couple of players out because the punt team came running out from Middle Tennessee, but no damage done. And Florida Atlantic will have the football right around the 15-yard line when we return to Boca Raton, Florida after this. It's always a beautiful day in Boca, especially at Del Boca Vista, which I still have not been able to find. I think I've got to write Seinfeld and find that out. FAU, they've not had a winning season since Howard Schnellenberger was coach. That was back in 2008. Lane Kiffin trying to turn their fortunes around, looking to pick up their second win of the year. Pass over the middle, wide open. Inside the 40, Harrison Bryant all the way over midfield. His 5th reception of the ball game. Harrison Bryant had 6 coming into the game.
Did he just tackle the guy trying to tackle him? Let's watch on the replay. Nice fake right across the middle. Everybody's playing up because they've been running the ball so successfully. Harrison Bryant sneaks behind the secondary, and a huge gain and a first down for Florida Atlantic.
Driscoll looks, steps up in the pocket, has to go to the safety valve, kind of hangs his guy out to dry. Solomon takes a couple of hits, barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. By the way, that for Bryant was a career long 41 yards. His previous long was 25.
And this Florida Atlantic offense wasting no time trying to get as many plays in as they can, and they are on the line and about to snap again.
Closing it on 4 minutes to play here in the 3rd stanza. Only an 11-point advantage for FAU. Driscoll looks. Now he goes for the block, takes a big hit. My goodness, Jason Driscoll, after he dumped the pass off, he was looking for somebody to block.
He became the lead blocker on his own passing game. I've never heard of a quarterback screen to this degree. Ooh. He passes out to Singletary, and then he throws his body just fearlessly into another defender.
And it looks like he did it on his right side also. Now he's taking a couple of shots as he's close to the first down, be about maybe a half a yard short.
Wow. And one word, tough. Look on this replay, carries out the fake, keeper up the middle, and he takes a helmet right into the chest while he's carrying the football. That's 2 plays in a row. A quarterback, as I think Lane Kiffin knows that his quarterback is tough, but I think more so he wants to make sure that he's still active by the end of this game.
4th down and short. Powell in the backfield. Powell's got it. Got the first down and then some. Down to the 30, we'll call it the 36-yard line for Buddy Howell Jr.
And great job here up front by the offensive line, running a misdirection play, sending the tight end or the H-back to the backside or the right side of the offensive line and hand off underneath to give Howell a little bit of extra space and one less defender sending the safety out when he follows the H-back.
Well, I tell you, it was interesting because Middle Tennessee wanted to make a substitution there, and they were running people in left and right. And lucky for them, FAU decided to slow things up a little bit. Dump it off to John Rain. Yesterday, we were talking to the coaches, and I mentioned to Kendall Bryles as we were watching practice, you like your tight ends. He goes, oh, we're going to use them a lot. We're seeing it here.
Seeing it here, the 2 favorite receivers on this team.
Not a whole lot doing on the run, maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. Possibly a pickup of only 1 on the play.
And a great job of Chris Harris just diving in there to kind of muddle up the waters for that wall in the middle. And they know that they're going to run. I mean, a lot of these formations are running patterns. But if you're a DB, you got to keep your head on a swivel and watch the middle of the field.
3rd down and about 4. A little bit longer than 4. Right up the middle, pushing the pile for Singletary. Still pushing the pile. That's our 2nd scrum we've had tonight. Gets to the 37.
3 yards in a cloud of dust is always the best way of running the football in my mind. And you look at it here. Downhill running, man-to-man blocking, running back keeping his feet moving. Just like on this play, we have another scrum.
And on 4th down and less than a foot. And it should be a first down because they're marking it right at the about 25.5-yard line, and they will move the chains. By the way, Singletary, his 3rd consecutive game of 100-yard rushing tonight.
And he has earned the last 13 yards. At 87, he got pretty quickly, but this last 13 has been just a grind out.
Driscoll Again, going to the tight end. Bryant stood up, gets close to the 20-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 4 on the play.
Bryant should have been stopped in the backfield.
Well, it's actually Rain, we found out now.
It's John Rain, and we do have another Raider, Blue Raider, on the ground for Middle Tennessee, and it looks to be number 11 for.
That's Peter Bailey. He's a defensive end. Redshirt senior out of Kissimmee, Florida.
And Kissimmee, that's a town I definitely used to spend a lot of time in as a youth.
Did. Let's see if you can pick out where exactly Peter Bailey was injured on this play.
Okay, so he appears to be right here on the pursuit. And coming down, look at, a lot of stumbling. And yeah, it looks like helmet to helmet or maybe shoulder. 33 came flying in there as well. But, yeah, medical staff is attending to him.
61 seconds left to play in the third. We hope Peter Bailey is okay. And they're going to get him up, which is always a good sign.
Always positive when he could stand up or sit up.
One more time to take a look at it.
Head looked down and collided with his own teammate as John Rain is falling down to the ground.
So it'll be second down and just over 5, possibly 6 yards. FAU 4 for 4 in the red zone so far tonight, 15 of 17 on the season. Bailey is up and he'll walk to the far side. It's a nice round of applause from the fans here at FAU.
Great sportsmanship there when the fans, because you never want to see an injury happen on the field. And so, when guys get up that are competing hard, it's great to know that, there's sportsmanship around Conference USA.
Exactly. So now Driscoll and company will go to work. Devin Singletary, he's been the man tonight. 104 yards rushing, averaging over 5 yards a carry. He and Buddy Howell have done a nice job with the little 1-2 punch running the football.
You have to say 1-2-3 punch.
Exactly.
There's 3 backs.
You can't forget White.
Yeah.
Singletary, big hole, kicks it to the outside. Inside the 10, stood up at the 8 and knocked out at the 8. Wesley Bush coming up to make the stop, the junior from Macon, Mississippi, but not before Devin Singletary gets another first down.
And there they are right up at the line again. Don't want to take advantage, don't want this quarter to end before trying to make a shot at the end zone.
120 yards for Singletary tonight, the most rushing yards allowed by Middle Tennessee this year. This is a team that allowed only 1 rushing yard last week. Driscoll looks, throws over the middle, pass incomplete. The thought was there, the pass just wasn't, as Singletary couldn't get the hands on it.
Yeah, Singletary snuck out the outside right, and he just got right in between on the seam route and just a little bit above his head.
Second and goal. And now FAU look a little confused offensively.
Trying to get lined up, and usually this is their forte, getting up there fast.
Now they snap it with 5. Driscoll rolls, throws, sideline incomplete. He hasn't really had pinpoint accuracy tonight. 18 of 24 tonight for 169 yards. Had a lot of pressure, though.
Yeah, ran a cover 0 blitz here. Everybody was up on the line of scrimmage and just stormed the line, forcing Driscoll to get out of the pocket on his rollout and release that ball a lot faster than he wanted to.
Third down and goal from inside the 10. 7 seconds to go here in the third. And again, they look a little confused offensively. Driscoll, pressure comes, lobs it into the air. Pass incomplete. Here comes the flag.
Yes, the flag was going to come out. When you look at
Harrison Bryant, he had to step on him.
He had on Javonte Moffitt, and Moffitt just kind of got confused. Feet got tangled.
Pass interference, defense.
You see
number
it right
7.
here, very easy.
The ball's placed at the 2-yard line.
Bryant had the step, and Moffitt grabbed hands and, forced Bryant to the ground.
Well, now it's 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, and that should do it here in quarter number 3, although the clock is stopped with 1 second. And they're going to be able to get one more play off. Now the ball is marked ready. Final play of the third. Driscoll throws, pass caught, short of the first down. Outstanding job defensively on Singletary. A number of players led by Reed Blankenship, the fine freshman, coming up to make the stop.
And as you see right here, this is almost taking a page out of Middle Tennessee State's playbook with the swing route. But there it is, the strength. Singletary won't give up, and they keep him out of the end zone at the end of the quarter.
DJ Sanders made the first hit. We'll head to the fourth with FAU knocking on the door with an 11-point lead. As we begin the fourth and final stanza, FAU trying to get their second win of the year to go 2-3. They're having an 11-point lead over Middle Tennessee. Main reason, the running of this man, Devin Singletary. Third consecutive game, 100 yards rushing. He's hit Pater 3 times. And now they're knocking on the door. 2nd down and goal, ball just over the 2-yard line. And Singletary is in the backfield along with John Rain. Singletary's got it, bangs his way in, touchdown. His 4th of the game, and that ties an FAU record.
And flag on the field after the touchdown. I mean, I guess if you are going to go with the celebratory motions that's going on the field, why not throw a flag? They've been out here pretty frequently in this evening. It'll be interesting to see. Look at this. Singletary steps through the line and gets in there. And there's the push.
Yeah.
Second guy always gets caught. That appeared to be number 30, Darius Harris.
Defense, number 30. The penalty being enforced on the kickoff. That's number 30's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Darius Harris, the junior, out of Horn Lake, Mississippi. Coaches say he has a promising future. His promising future will include running laps tomorrow.
Yes, it will. You can only control what you can control, and he can control his hands at that moment.
Singletary ties Alfred Morris and Doug Parker for the most rushing touchdowns in a game. He's got 4. Longest drive Middle Tennessee has given up this year, 89 yards, 15 plays, capped off again by Devin Singletary with his 4th rushing touchdown. That ties an FAU record. Alfred Morris did it versus UAB in 2011, and Doug Parker also doing it. Speaking of Alfred Morris, played for Howard Schnellenberger. And we were talking about how different he looks in this tape as opposed to when he's playing now in the NFL.
Well, he looks a lot bigger in this tape. I think it's because of the all-white uniforms back then. But he still has that same motion, that same motor, and the same agility. Just doesn't get opportunity being behind Ezekiel Elliott in Dallas.
This will be our first kickoff return of the evening, and it doesn't go far. Stood up right at the 10-yard line. Good coverage by the FAU special teams.
Yeah, great job. Way to fly in there and make a play. Look at that. I can't tell these reflective numbers.
Well, Anderson gets slobber knockered. We know that.
Yes. It's number 6 for FAU. Might have been Kareth White.
Well, the staff and the members of the team seem to like it. Now Middle Tennessee's got to kind of get something going here. Not good field position. Urzua looks, the deep out, dangerous pass, incomplete. Tried to fit it in between 2 defenders. Herb Miller almost picked that off.
Yeah, and that looked to be C.J. Wyndham. Yep, trying to drop it in between 2 defenders. That's a tough situation.
Wow.
Tough throw. Narrowly picked.
Herb Miller almost had his 2nd career interception. 2nd down and 10. Hand off straight up the middle. Ty Lee picking up a couple of yards on the play. That'll be close to the 1st down. That'll set up a 3rd down and about 2.
Important for Middle Tennessee. They've got to have this. 3rd down play selection has just been, look at that, 10 passes and 2 rushes. 6-12. They're at 50%, which is a good percentage for 3rd down.
3 wide receivers, bottom of your screen. Urzua looks right, now looks left, pressure coming, throws up the prayer and it won't be answered. Incomplete pass. Middle Tennessee wanted a flag, not going to get it.
No,
now it comes
dropped.
in.
Not sure what flag that was, where it came from. It just seemed like it came from the sideline.
Wow, and it's going to be called against FAU. Both officials, I was watching both of them. Neither one of them made a move to their flag.
Pass interference. Defense, number 2. Spot foul. Automatic. First down.
Just watch it here on the replay. Urzua looking, scrambling, throwing, and right here at the side. Can't really tell from that angle. Like both of them were trying to make a play and just kind of slid out of bounds.
Aziz Al-Shair, who has missed some time because of injury, is the one who was called for that infraction. He is really the mainstay of that defense. So it's a fresh set of downs for Middle Tennessee. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Here comes some trickery. Looking back to throw it back to Urzua. Urzua. Oh, wow.
Oh. There it is.
And you could see that was coming because Urzua, as soon as he got rid of the ball, went to the left side and was waiting for it.
Yes, and Smith sends the ball back to him and slows up, and then he get a little confidence. Once the big fella gets lubed up, he got moving.
Connor Trent, nice block downfield. First down. A little trickery with Bruce. Maybe gets a yard and a half on the play. Second down and 8. Clock ticking away. You're down by 18. This is a must drive for Middle Tennessee. And this is a FAU defense that has only given up 17 total points in the 4th quarter. Urzua looks, throws, pass, caught over 3 defenders. How was that ball caught by Wyndham?
What a tremendous job here by C.J. Wyndham. It looked like a wall in front of him. Watch this here. C.J. Urzua plants, throws. There's 2 guys.
Oh, my goodness.
2 guys who had a shot at that ball, and then he goes bulldozing down to the 20-yard line. Tremendous focus, tremendous catch, and great finish.
Quarterback Shelton Lewis is going to have nightmares of that pass. He should have picked it off. That would have been his second of the evening. The run game. Tiptoeing down the sideline, big collision with Brad Anderson.
And Brad Anderson says, I might be short, but I'm not small.
He is 5'8".
What a way to finish this run. Going to the outside. Oh, step outside. Nope. I'm going to go right front.
Wow.
And 2 guys ended up hitting themselves trying to hit Anderson. Look at that as he shoves them off.
He's 170 pounds. Urzua, by the way, career high 296 yards passing already. This time hands it off. Anderson stood up after a pickup of only 1. I'll tell you, Anderson showed us some pop there.
Yes, Anderson has been very explosive this entire evening. Very physical at the point of attack, running in between the tackles and off tackle and outside on the swing passes. The kid has shown that he is an every down back.
Middle Tennessee, 1 of 2 in the red zone so far tonight. Anderson goes out, Bruce comes in. Fake it to Bruce. Urzua throws, pass caught inside the 10. Stood up at the 7-yard line. I tell you, he rifled that ball again to Wyndham, who picks up his 5th catch of the evening.
Yeah, and right here, Urzua wastes no time. Throwing it looked to be a post route, shallow post to Wyndham. I'm going to start calling Wyndham flypaper.
There you go.
Because he catches everything, and you don't see how it can happen. It looks almost impossible as you're going through the progression.
Very impressive drive by Middle Tennessee and John Urzua. Looking for the 6. Here comes the pressure. Has to dump it out of the flat to Bruce. Touchdown. Jock Bruce's first touchdown reception of the year, and Urzua throws his 4th touchdown pass of the season.
You're right. Urzua is standing up in the pocket. Everybody's covered. He rolls to the left, sees Bruce, delivers a dart, and Bruce just scampers into the end zone for the score.
Boy, how impressive is that? You could fold the tent and start telling the plane to get the engines ready. Middle Tennessee comes roaring back. Extra point by Rooker is good. A lot of time left in this ball game, and it's down to an 11-point advantage for FAU. With that, we'll step aside. .338 yards passing for Middle Tennessee in the game. That is the most passing yards allowed by FAU this season, and more than doubles what they have been allowing in a game. 9 plays, 87 yards, which is the longest drive FAU's given up this year. It took them 3:42. Still a 2-score game, but it's down to 31-20. And again, it'll be kicked into the end zone. You and I were chatting during the break. If you were coaching FAU now, would you just go back to that run game that has been successful so far this evening because they've rushed for over 200 yards?
I would totally lean on my offensive line and my running backs to just go forward, road great, and get the job done. Wear out the clock, bring it down, and then continue to pressure and tire out this Middle Tennessee front seven. And eventually good things happen because you've shown you can get in the end zone rushing the football. So continue with that. Not a lot of passes. Obviously change it up if you see 8 in the box or any loaded fronts defensively, and just hit those quick poppers right over the top like you have to your tight end. But I'd run the ball.
Well, they're going to give Buddy Howell a little chance to run the football, and he'll get over the 30-yard line up to the 31. Pickup of 6 on the play. Kind of nice to have somebody like Buddy Howell and also White, because Singletary doesn't have to tote the ball 30 times a ball game.
Yeah, and right there, just went right over the left side.
Bouncing around, Howell gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it.
Yeah, this time here is just Buddy Howell trying to make something happen. Started right, got bounced backwards, and then tried to squeeze out, scored out the right side, and just wasn't there.
And Singletary is back in, 3rd down and 5. Now they're taking their time as the clock inches towards 10 minutes left in the ball game. Singletary got the first down over the 40 and tripped up by a toenail. Just reaching out and touching him was Reed Blankenship, but it was enough to trip up Singletary.
Yes, it was running. It looked to be outside zone with the tight end leading up the middle, and he just shot out of a cannon once he hit the line of scrimmage.
And fans wanted a flag to be thrown on that last play. Singletary gets run out of bounds. Able to pick up a couple. Most offense allowed by Middle Tennessee this year is FAU has hung 397 yards on them. That's more than even Vanderbilt put on them, which was, I believe, 367. Second down and 8. Driscoll keeps, goes nowhere. He's going to lose 3 on the play. I think a lot of people are probably saying right now, you know, you've got this up-tempo offense, but why not slow it down even more and do the simple things to run the clock?
Exactly, precisely. And that's, I think, one of the faults in this no-huddle spread system is you try and run as many plays as humanly possible, and then we get to a 4-minute offense or a kill, bleed the clock type of offense,
right?
And they can't do it because the guys are so used to being on the line of scrimmage and going so fast.
7 on the line of scrimmage right now. Driscoll scrambling for his life. Throws on the run, incomplete. That was more of a safety throw, just get rid of it instead of getting sacked. Good pressure, though, by Middle.
Yeah, great pressure here. You look at, they're bringing 4, and it's one of the defensive linemen, and that's Malik Mansell, the defensive tackle, with the I won't say burners.
Yeah,
it wasn't that fast. He had the toasties.
He was the most improved defensive lineman in the spring, and the coaches say they like his motor. There's Ty Lee standing back at the 15 awaiting the punt. Boy, that's a boomer. Lee's got to back up. Fair catch at the 10, loses it. Second week in a row he muffs a punt, but luckily for Middle Tennessee, they recover him.
And he should be thanking his lucky stars.
Boy, that's the truth.
That recovery went back to them.
31-30 is the score. FAU over Middle Tennessee. 8:49 to play in the ball game. Coming up on Monday at 6 p.m. on Stadium. You don't want to miss our MLB postseason special. We'll hear from insiders from each team, and we'll break down all of the matchups this Monday at 6 p.m. only on WatchStadium.com. Can't believe the regular season's coming to an end. Middle goes back to work. And here is Ty Lee. Got running room. Scampers close to the 40. They'll mark him out at the 39. Ty Lee with his 8th reception.
What a great job here, running the inside screen to the left and then just stunning right back out to the left side and down the sideline. He's so fast and so quick. You look at that inside screen, this is probably the 6th different type of screen that Middle Tennessee has used in the game thus far, and they do it from so many different ways.
Career high receiving yards for Lee. Now just throws it into the feet because there was nothing there, and Anderson was covered up by about 3 different players.
Yeah, trying to run the halfback screen left play here. And the one guy that sniffs it out, let's see who it is. Oh, wow. 90, it looks to be 96 for the Owls. I think it was Rasheem Collins.
How about Ty Lee? 136 yards receiving tonight. Career high for him. Empty backfield. Urzua throws, and it's going to be picked off. 3rd interception of the ball game. Raekwon Williams with the Oski.
And this is a great job. Watch him playing from the inside slot. Jumps the route to C.J. Wyndham. And right there, great execution. And a proper celebration there because you have 3 interceptions by defensive backs this evening. Coach Stockstill is upset because his team is digging further in the ditch in the turnover differential land. They came in this game as -6 under and are leaving this game as of right now at 9 under.
3rd turnover of the ball game, 3rd interception. Now FAU can try to put a dagger in this ball game. Howell gets to the 35-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 5 or 6 on the play. I'll tell you, the 1-2 combination of Howell and Singletary. Howell now closing in on 70 yards rushing. Singletary, as we mentioned, 133 yards rushing tonight.
Great possibility they make it to another duo night of 100 yards rushing. They keep on track.
I go back to what Middle Tennessee coaching staff was telling us this week. We cannot turn the ball over, and that's been the problem. Little touch pass. That'll be good enough for the first down to Willie Wright. He got dinged up earlier in the ball game. Good to see his little speed. The coaches just love him. They said Willie Wright acts like a veteran despite the fact he's a freshman.
And it's crazy how these passes happen because usually it used to be a handoff.
Yeah.
But literally it was like he just tapped it down into his hands.
They call him passionate, is when the coaches talk about Willie Wright. 1st and 10, ball sitting squarely on the 30-yard line. 7:03 to play in the ball game. High snap. Howell's got running room. Close to the 20 and knocked out of bounds. They'll mark him out at the 19-yard line. That'll be good enough for another first down.
And right here, handoff, and it's a lead play with the tight end, and the tight end does a great job of pushing the man past the line of scrimmage, past the first down marker, allowing Howell to make it just outside and moving the chains once again for Florida Atlantic.
I know they say Gregory Howell, but everybody knows him as Buddy Howell.
Yep, Buddy.
Buddy, and he's increased his rushing average every year at FAU. Up the middle. Maybe 2. Again by Howell. He's got 82 yards rushing. Well, when you have 2 running backs with the potential of both cracking the century mark, that's pretty impressive.
And they carry it out really well. For the, they did well against Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
had a little bit of a snafu against Buffalo, but tonight it has been very convincing. Their ground game is where their strength is on this team, and their offensive line is built for the ground game.
We talked at the top of the show, number one, run the football, then they try to bust you over the top. Handoff around the corner, inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line is Cameron Solomon. Had a huge spring, was suspended for a couple of games, coming back tonight with a vengeance.
And right here, the other way you can pass the ball off, the traditional toss on the jet sweep. We've seen it. We've seen the jet sweep every which way tonight from Florida Atlantic, from the slot, from the wide guy, from the single receiver side, and it can't be stopped at the rate that it's going. They've had a tremendous success on the ground with everybody who's rushed the football tonight.
Well, FAU 5 for 5 in the red zone tonight. Solomon will go up wide to the right, top of your screen. Handoff, Howe, stiff arm inside the 5, down to the 3.
And just a bruising effort by this offense.
And Middle Tennessee is going to have to call a timeout.
They have really fought this offensive line for Florida Atlantic, who Lane Kiffin said was weakness last week, has now become a strength. And when we come back, Florida Atlantic in the red zone, up 31-20.
Along with Max Starks, I'm Ron Thulin. 31-20 is our score. FAU 31-20 on top. And take a look at the running backs tonight. Buddy Howell and Devin Singletary, not too shabby. 133 and 86. I'm sorry, Devin. Buddy gets the Hairdo of the Day award. I'm not sure what that is.
It's colored dreadlocks there,
but it's off to the side.
It's like he tried to tie it up. It looks like it just fell down at the last minute.
Okay. Second down and goal from about the 5. Driscoll looks wide open. Touchdown, Harrison Bryant.
And a great job here. The hide has been working all night tonight. You look at the. Okay, here we go. Here's the replay. I mean, just a little delay. Doesn't really block anybody, and then kind of sneaks out the backside on the naked rollout. And right here, here's another one. He steps down, Harrison Bryant, and then comes back out, and nobody is recognizing. Everybody's expecting a run from this team, and Harrison Bryant with the touchdown.
His second career touchdown reception. his 7th reception of the evening. He came in with 6 total. Extra point is good, and the lead extended to 18. 38-20. What a job, though, by Harrison Bryant, the sophomore from Gray, Georgia. Had 12 career receptions coming into tonight.
And it's just crazy what he's done now. And
he also is a blocker on the extra point, and he gets a little shot in here. Watch this.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if you call that being a blocker.
No.
And a second one.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes you're the hammer, and sometimes you are the nail, my friend. But
he got slobber knocker twice.
At the end of the day, 7 receptions for 93 yards and 1 TD.
Yeah.
You know, you combine that with the 12 career receptions. He had a tremendous night tonight for the team. And also the other tight end did a tremendous job as well.
John Rain.
Yeah, John Rain, who wasn't on our depth chart.
No.
But yet he's now in our hearts and minds.
There you go. How about the fact that Bryant had 95 total yards and receptions coming into tonight? He's got 93 tonight. And you can't say enough outside of the block kick, special teams for FAU. Here's that extra point
right
again.
Here.
He gets slobbered there.
Still got 93 yards receiving and a touchdown.
And we're winning. And then he gets the second denture check.
You know, hey, that was good. You know, okay, I could take that. I'm okay.
But this is the one that.
And then it's right here. It was 9 targets, 7 catches. Right there. He earned his stats.
That's really bad. Urzua looks and short hops it. Pass incomplete as we go inside of 5 minutes to play in the ball game. I tell you what, though, you look at this decimated offense of Middle Tennessee and what they've done tonight, 420 yards. They only have about 15 yards less than what FAU's put up. But Middle Tennessee without their 2 best receivers, their quarterback, a running back, an offensive lineman.
Yeah, and
hats off to him.
Urzua's in the slot. And looks like we have Ty Lee in at quarterback.
And Lee will keep it.
And there we go, the keeper for Lee.
Gets close to the 30-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 5, bring it up 3rd down and 5. Stopped by James Pierre, the freshman out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. And watching Pierre yesterday in practice was impressive. He was making a lot of mistakes, but the coach is then telling us following practice he is probably going to be one of the biggest studs ever to come out of this program.
And you could see flashes this evening because he is special. I mean, what a great job and great concentration that he has.
3-man rush. Urzua goes away from it. Pass complete. Penalty flag is down, so it'll be a free play. Jimmy Marshall on the reception. That'll be the 9th receiver to catch a pass tonight for Middle.
Offside, defense, number 15. Penalties declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Well, Brett Stockstill has tried to do everything he can to come back. Even had a little stem cell therapy, I think, whatever they call it. And unfortunately, cracked the sternum, separated a collarbone versus Syracuse. This summer, he had surgery on his collarbone. And he's just trying to get healthy right now. Pass almost picked off again. 3 interceptions already tonight for this defense. That pass was intended for Garnett. But he is such an integral part. He's tried to play coach, but you know right now, inside his stomach is just boiling.
Yeah, he wants to be out there so bad. But, of course, it takes that process of getting everything healed up, and he needs that flexibility in his chest and in his throwing shoulder to be able to come back out here full speed so he can really help his team.
And they couldn't give us a timetable on it because you just don't know. Urzua's pass is complete to Jimmy Marshall. Marshall with his 2nd catch. So Urzua outside of the 3 interceptions, and there were some tip passes there. I think all in all, he's had a pretty solid evening. 27 of 45, 348 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, it's just you wish you could erase those interceptions. Yeah. Forcing it just a little bit on 2 of them. The other one was tipped. But, I mean, he's battled in there, and he stayed in there and really been really doing a great job as a backup.
Three-man rush. Urzua looks, throws into the flat, pass caught, no gain. Hit immediately was Jock Bruce. Boy, he felt that too.
Yes, it is going to leave a mark. Running the swing pass out here, and we don't even catch it fully on there, but he took a helmet straight in the gut, and that's where he's at thinking about it. But way to go up, get it, and hold on to it after such a big hit.
4th down and about 1. They're going to go for it. Urzua looks right, throws left, pass caught, stood up right at the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to give him over the 50. The line judge on the near side is standing with 1 foot over the 50. Coming up a little hobbling was Tyrese Johnson. Here it is again.
And Tyrese Johnson, recipient of that catch on that, it looked like an X-in screen route where they were just running quick 2 steps outside, then come right back to the inside.
Urzua hits right as he throws. That may have been a lateral. It was awfully close. Anderson was right even with him. And Johnson, they're going to have to take a look at him. He is really hurt. They're going to look at that left leg, it looks like, or right leg, I should say. Second down and 10. Urzua runs, takes a hit, close to the first down. It'll be about 2 yards short.
But great decision by Urzua. Hey, they're not open. We don't have that much time. I need to get this yardage. Let me just move forward. I mean, you see the job that he's done tonight. The backside of that jersey has some grass stains all over. The front side of it is dirty as well. This young man has been playing his heart out tonight, rushing and throwing the football. He had a great experience, but, you know, there's a reason why you're the backup.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for FAU. They get to go to Old Dominion, who was off this week, and Bobby Wilder and company trying to heal up after a couple of pretty tough losses. We will be there. That'll be next Saturday. Gets underway at 6 o'clock in Middle Tennessee. They will get to go home back to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and they will take on FIU. That'll be next Saturday afternoon, beginning at 2 o'clock. I'm looking forward to ODU. They got beat up a little bit, and I'm anxious to see Steve Williams, the young freshman quarterback. Urzua hits as he throws. That'll be short of the first down. Bring up 4th down at about 1.
Oh, there we go.
That's a big boy there.
That is a big boy. He is 1 cheeseburger away from being in the 3-point stands permanently. I used to be a tight end as well.
I was going to say,
and then I found checkers.
I was going to say he's a taco away from a combination plate, but that's I'll go with yours better.
Yeah, he's close. But he has soft hands.
There you go, 4th down in less than a yard. Urzua's going to put it up. Here comes the pressure. Rolls, throws, incomplete.
Turnover on downs there. You know, most importantly, right here, this is my idol right now in college football. 85 right there. You see, watch this motion. This running a little naked Z-hide. And, oh, there it is. Oh. I mean, he has moves. I love that dude. There he is. Looks like a young Jared Lorenzen.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's got the haircut, though.
But soft hands. Looked in the pass. He has more college passes than I have. Great job there. You know, it's always tough. You got a loss. And losing that 4th down battle for Middle Tennessee again. FAU coming out. You know, hopefully they do the best play in football, which is what I'd hope. But I think they're going to have to run it because of the timeouts.
Yeah, that's... Well, so now with 1:14 remaining, FAU will get their 2nd win of the year and the 2nd win for head coach Lane Kiffin here at FAU. I'll tell you, he's not. No coach is ever 100% pleased, but I think considering the disappointment they had last week and the job that Driscoll did tonight, 22 of 29, 187 yards. But I think the important thing that's going to stand out, no turnovers tonight.
No turnovers tonight. And you have something you can build off of. You have three great receivers, three great running backs. And you also look at Jake Driscoll taking the steps forward tonight with his passing and finding a lot of open tight ends. I think this is a great thing for them.
And that's going to do it. Final 25 seconds to Devin Singletary, the stud of the evening. Ties an FAU record 4 rushing touchdowns. And in the process goes over 130 yards rushing. It was a tough week of practice for Lane Kiffin and his team, but they bounced back to pick up the win. The final 38-20. We'll be back in 90 seconds to wrap things up. Well, if you're an FAU fan, you're very pleased with a 38-20 victory over Middle Tennessee. That snaps a 9-game losing streak, 4-game losing streak to the Blue Raiders here in Boca. More importantly, you open conference play with a victory, and I think both coaches, they knew that you want to start Conference USA play with a win. FAU, they get a chance to do that.
They get the victory. They get to start conference play 1-0, and now begins the hike through the rest of the season.
How about FIU coming back to beat Charlotte 39-20? Marshall all over Cincinnati in the fourth. That would be a big win for Doc Holliday and company. Tough for Sean Kugler down at UTEP. They are beaten by Army. South Alabama, Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech wins it by 18. And in the fourth, North Texas trying to win their conference game against Southern Miss. They lead by 15. Devin Singletary tonight, 133 yards, averaged 5.5 yards to carry, 4 touchdowns in the ballgame.
And just did it with tremendous flair and flash. You look at the first touchdown here, wiggling, shaking, left, right, into the end zone. Right here, nice single jump cut back to the backside, into the end zone. Rudimentary right here, off tackle, diving in on short yardage, and then right here, the step, the hop, the play, the fall down, but the nose of the football gets over the goal line for the 4th touchdown, and the record-tying multi-touchdown game for Devin Singletary.
And we still have more coming up on Stadium. Coming up, the rally. John Tyler Jacobs, Dylan McGordy, and Abby Hornacek. All will be coming up immediately following us on the rally. Once again, the final score, FAU wins it, the final 38-20. Don't forget, next week we will be in Old Dominion. Old Dominion taking on FAU. Game time, 7 o'clock Eastern time. For Max Starks and our entire crew, I'm Rob Thulin. Thanks for watching. You've been watching Conference USA football on Stadium.
shot in
He's
space.
done it again.
Welcome to the Rally here on Stadium. I'm Tyler Jacobs. It is another college football Saturday. We appreciate those of you who are joining us after watching Florida Atlantic and Middle Tennessee State. But right now, the story that everyone is talking about in college football, go to Twitter, I dare you. LSU at home losing to the men of Troy. 24-21 the
Not
final.
USC.
No.
Troy.
Just Troy. The men of Troy.
Just regular old normal Troy.
24-21 the final. Troy was a 20.5-point underdog on the road in Baton Rouge, so I know they are drowning themselves in as much gumbo, jambalaya, and booze as they can find.
As they should.